It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Earlier this week, Michigan State officially hired their next athletic director, Jay Batt from Georgia Tech, also formerly worked in the athletic department at Alabama. And with that hiring, Michigan State has officially started the clock on the hot seat for Jonathan Smith. Now, whether that's his own fault or not, there's a new athletic director there, and he's brought in specifically for NIL purposes, sponsorship purposes, and to get the football program back to where it should be, which is not a bottom-tier Big Ten program. Now, Jonathan Smith hasn't really done anything wrong since coming to Michigan State. He brought in a lot of his guys from an Oregon State program that was successful under him. But in year one, obviously, a decent season. They didn't make a bowl game or anything. But now in year two, there's all of a sudden major expectations for Michigan State to get back into relevancy. And if they don't, why would J-Back keep around Alan Haller's old hire? He wants to bring in one of his own guys to get Michigan State football program in the right direction. Now, what are those expectations for Jonathan Smith Spartans this season? Well, for sure, you got to make a bowl game, but what is the win total at? This is a tough schedule for MSU this year, like it always is in the Big Ten. And Jonathan Smith now in year two finds himself in a very different situation than Spartan fans might have expected a year ago when he was brought in. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
Fueled by wonder and powered by science. At Dow, we're imagining better things for our customers and communities. It starts with our commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Designing, building, and inspiring for the world around us. Because when we wonder, the things our world needs could be just one breakthrough away. That's Dow.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show. Day number 3 of a brand new era of Michigan Sports Radio. What's going on, everybody? I am Ben Bosscher. Kyle Sandell, the Sandman behind the glass, producing for us today, as always. Man, we've got a lot to get into. I can't believe it's already been 2 full shows. We're on day 3. Doesn't feel like very long, but hey, we're finally hitting a rhythm here, it feels like. And we've got a jam-packed show for you today. I'm really excited about today's show. We've got a Detroit Lion coming on later on. That's right, the very first guest that we already have, that doesn't work here, because day number 1 we had Mr. Tunney on, we had John Vicari on. The first true guest we have on the show is a Detroit Lion. That's coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. In the 11 o'clock hour, we're sending somebody to Sunday's game against the Cubs. The Detroit Tigers taking on the Chicago Cubs. 2 of the top teams in baseball right now. Obviously, the Tigers with the best record in baseball. And it's an expected sellout crowd every day this weekend. You got Scooble on Friday. The next 2 days are supposed to be sellout crowds as well. I'm super pumped to send somebody to this game. You just got to be listening in the 11 o'clock hour. I'm going to be doing that, Kyle. How you doing, man? You doing okay?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Like you said, day 3 already. It still feels like we were, an hour before the first show, just like freaking out, trying to get things ready to go. But it's already day 3. It feels like we're already in the groove of things.
Yeah, I realized yesterday, too, as I was getting the show together last night, it's officially, you got to turn the AC on weather. I officially turned it on yesterday because it was getting pretty hot in the apartment. I was like, oh, I think it's finally time.
Yeah, it's humid. It's hot and sticky out.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time of the year. Mm-hmm. But, hey, I called it, man. I was buying Mother Nature stock the other day, so.
You did?
It's like I knew. It's like I checked the weather.
All right, let's jump right into things. Again, we're going to do some Tigers giveaways later. We're going to have a Detroit Lion on in the 10 o'clock hour. But before we get to any of that, and before we talk a little Stanley Cup finals in a little bit, I wanted to touch on last night's Tigers game, and I wanted to hear from everyone listening, whether you're on the app, on the website. You guys can text in if that's the way you're listening, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you guys can leave a comment. We'll get to those. I want to know if this is an overreaction or just a certified fact, talking about something that happened in last night's Tigers game. Last night was a bullpen day. And I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I just don't like the bullpen days. They're not as fun to me. Pitching by chaos, that was fun just because it was so unique, and it was like you just didn't know what was going to happen on a game-to-game basis or on an inning-to-inning basis, and you were basically playing on fumes, the Tigers were. And for them to still have that sort of success while doing it, it was just, you'd never seen anything like it. But now that you have some real depth to the starting rotation, bullpen days just kind of are what they are. It's not a ton of fun, if you ask me. And yesterday, with it being a bullpen day against one of the worst teams in baseball, for the Tigers to get lit up the way that they did, I thought was somewhat concerning. And it's not like I haven't already had these thoughts. We've done a couple shows on them back when we were doing the payoff from 6 to 7. I think that's my number one concern with the team right now, though, is the bullpen. Now, Vest and Canley didn't play yesterday because they didn't have any opportunities to come in and save the game because the game was already over by the time the 8th and 9th inning rolled around for the most part. So you got the works of Tyler Holton, you got Hannafy, you got Brisky, you even had Dylan Smith come in. And the problem I have with the Tigers bullpen right now is outside of Vest and outside of Canley, there's just no one there that I really trust in full. So if you get to the playoffs and let's say, I don't know, Casey Mize or Reese Olson just doesn't have his best outing and suddenly you have to revert to the bullpen, I don't trust any of these guys. And I think yesterday was a perfect example of why that probably should just be the case. I would love to add another arm at some point during the trade deadline. We're going to get into another trade that ESPN proposed yesterday. It is not Paul Skeens. I think we can be done talking about that for a little bit. But adding another arm, I think, is essential because when you're going up against a White Sox team who's one of the worst offenses in baseball and has been for a few years, and your bullpen gets lit up the way that they did yesterday, where every single guy that played gave up at least one base runner. You had Brisky 1, Herter 2, Hannafy 2, Holton 3, Smith 4, and then Chase Lee 4. Everyone's putting guys on base. It just rubs you the wrong way a little bit and makes you nervous. Now, obviously, not every day is going to be a bullpen day in the postseason, but you do need a strong bullpen to survive a few rounds in the postseason, especially when you're playing a best-of-3 series, a best-of-5 series, and you got to kind of trust everyone you put out there. And it just reminds me of back in 2012, 2013, when the Tigers had an awesome starting rotation, had a juggernaut of an offense, but the one thing that you couldn't trust was the guys coming in to relieve the starters and the guys closing the game. I'm not worried about the closers. I like Vest and Canley. It's everyone else in the bullpen that makes me a little bit worried. Is this an overreaction or is it a certified fact that the Tigers bullpen is a looming issue this season?
The reason why you would lean towards fact is because of how these guys performed a year ago, right? I mean, the pitching by chaos thing was something that the Tigers embraced because everyone was much better. Tyler Holton was excellent out of the pen last year, a sub-2 ERA for most of the season, like one of the better left-handed relievers in all of baseball, would give you a couple innings. Brant Herter was much better. Brendan Hanafy was much better. I know his numbers are fine this season, and even Bo Breesky, who opened yesterday's game, like all of these guys were much better guys out of the pen a season ago. So now when they do the pitching by chaos and it's seemingly not working as well as it did last year, of course it's not, because last year was an anomaly at the end of the day, it definitely makes you worried because they're not able to repeat what they did last year.
You look at what they did last year, and it was astonishing, right? There wasn't another team that had ever done that, really. And, I think we did some topics that were like, is this sustainable? Should the Tigers just do this every game? Because it confused other managers in the way A.J. Hinch operated. He was always a few steps ahead of the opposing manager anyway, right? So there was even some thought like, is this the new normal? Can you just kind of do this? Right. Not every game, but like, do you have to have a full 5-man starting rotation? Well, based on everything that A.J. Hinch said this offseason, and even this year, yeah, they don't want to be doing that unless it's out of necessity. And I don't, again, like they're not going to start reverting to doing that unless they have to deal with a slew of injuries here. But again, it comes to, hey, one of the starters doesn't have a great day. We got to start the bullpen early. And because everyone got lit up yesterday, now you're kind of trusting, and not even trusting, you're like hoping and basically praying that Sawyer Gibson today has a good enough outing to where you don't have to go to the bullpen early because everyone got tossed around last night. Everyone used their arm and didn't have a ton of success in the process of doing it. You had some dumb errors. You had some bad defensive plays from the pitchers. It felt like anyone who went out there was just kind of getting lit up. And I mean, even Dylan Smith, who I think a lot of players, a lot of people are excited about, came in and just kind of didn't have it yesterday. Spiking a lot of balls in the dirt. You could tell early on, like, this just isn't a big leagues pitcher at the moment. And again, like once some guys get healthy, he's probably not going to be on the team by the time October rolls around. But
Yeah.
Even a guy like Hanafy, even a guy like Brisky or Herter, it's like you just don't trust these guys right now in full. And it's going to be hard to put together a team that's so good where you trust every single person that's out there. I mean, we're talking about a 40-win team at the end of the day.
But I mean, think about a year ago. You did trust every guy in the pen a year ago.
Right.
There wasn't a single guy that came in where you were like, oh, no.
And that's just not the case this year. Is it an overreaction or is it a straight-up fact that the Tigers' bullpen is a looming issue? Do they need to make a move for another bullpen arm at some point this season? We're going to get to that. There's a poll going on Twitter right now on the personal. You guys can go to Bosscher Ben to find that and vote on that. Again, we're going to be giving Tigers tickets away later today. And I want to touch on some hockey stuff with the NHL Stanley Cup starting tonight. This weekend, though, it's kind of funny, though, that they're playing the White Sox on the road this week. And then this weekend, the Cubs are coming into town, which should be, the way they were talking about it yesterday on the broadcast, they expect to sell out 3 nights in a row. Friday night with Scooble on the mound, Saturday with fireworks, and then Sunday just because, hey, it's the hottest team in baseball and one of the biggest markets in the Chicago Cubs coming up to town too. This should be super fun, and I'm excited to send somebody to the game on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely lucky winner, man. I mean, the Tigers' weekends home series have been electric this season, and now that the weather's starting to warm up too, like it's going to be a fun summer of Tigers baseball at home.
I think I heard they haven't sold out 3 games in a row, like a weekend series, since 2016. And this weekend could be the first chance they do it. Especially when you consider
way to
like
start with Scooble, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason they pushed that Scooble start back to Friday rather than going up against a Cubs team where you hope to get a win regardless. But obviously yesterday you didn't get a win, and the bullpen I think was the biggest reason why. The offense could have come to life a little bit more at the beginning of the game. But hey, Smith, the opposing pitcher yesterday, kind of carved up the Tigers for the first half of that game.
He did, and I felt confident once he came out because he was like 85 pitches through 4 innings. Like he was really like taking his time out there. So I assume once the White Sox pen came in that got decimated the day before with having to pitch like 7 different guys, I thought the Tigers offense would step up. But outside of that 13-run game, they've scored 2 runs in 3 games.
Both teams kind of lacking, not even just lacking a bullpen, but have used up a ton of their bullpen here. And now it's a 4-game series, so 2 games left. It'll be interesting to see what happens tonight, especially with considering who's on the mound.
It's
for
a
the
bullpen day
Tigers.
for the White Sox today, too, by the way. So it's really going to be an interesting pitching duel today.
989-837-6125. Look, I've got a bone to pick with some hockey fans with the Stanley Cup starting tonight. Jeff Passan put out an ESPN article that had the Tigers trading for a former All-Star. That's also coming up in the show. I will tell you about the Lion coming up. We have a Detroit Lion coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. I'm not going to say who it is, but you're going to want to listen. And then, of course, in the 11 o'clock hour, we're giving away those Tigers tickets for Sunday's game against the Cubs. This is a loaded show, man, and I am still thrilled that got this opportunity to do the Ben Bosscher Show. So without further ado, let's have another fun day. It is the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Parents, summer is almost here. Do you have a plan? Keep your kids active, engaged, and having a blast at Greater Midland Summer Camps. Every day is a new adventure filled with games, sports, creative activities, and new friendships. Plus, new this year, our full-day camps are now at the Greater Midland Tennis Center. More space, more fun, and more memories to be made. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Secure your child's best summer ever today at greatermidland.org/camps.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. And it sounds like peace of mind, knowing our lakes will be better protected by placing Line 5 in the Great Lakes Tunnel. And that we've added extra safety measures while we work to build it, because we're committed to keeping the Great Lakes safe for generations to come. Tomorrow is on. Visit enbridge.com/line5 for more information. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular. Presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesapeake, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
You know, we've still got a lot to get to. We've got a Tigers giveaway. We've got a Detroit Lion coming on. Kyle, one thing I totally forgot to bring up in the open that I totally meant to. How about Paul Skeens yesterday? 8 Ks. That means we're 2 for 2.
Pretty wild.
Should we quit while we're on top?
See, yes, because you're due for a losing streak.
You know what I've been thinking about, and I need to be careful about doing this on Wednesday where we've only done 2 shows. Do you know how hard it'd be to do a perfect week? If we could do it week 1, lock of the day goes 5 for 5, because day 1 was Tigers' first inning money line. Yesterday was Paul Skeens' 8 Ks, and that looks scary for a little bit because he only had 4 through 6 innings. Then he got really hot late in the game. And then he ended up cashing the bet.
Also picks up a loss yesterday in a 1-run given up game against the Astros. So
a lot of flyouts for him yesterday. A lot of flyouts. I've got a lock of the day at the end of the show. It has to do with tonight's Stanley Cup game. And I have a bone to pick with some of the hockey fans out there, specifically in this part of the country. There seems to be this like weird thing that a lot of people just root against Canada to win a Stanley Cup at all times. And I guess I just simply don't understand the logic behind that. Choosing to root for Florida simply because of we don't want Canada to win another Stanley Cup. It's been so long. It's been like a 30-year drought. But I look at these two teams, and there's one clear and obvious reason why I will be rooting for the Oilers tonight and for the rest of the Stanley Cup. And honestly, as long as the Red Wings are not playing, probably just going to be rooting for the Oilers going forward. McDavid needs a ring. I am always going to be in the camp of rooting for players to achieve greatness. Rooting for the guys I watch, my generation, to get on top of the mountain and really claim themselves as something special. I'm always going to root for Mahomes. I'm always going to root for Ohtani. I'm always going to root for LeBron, and it's the same way I'm always going to root for Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid, to me, and I know I'm showing my age a little bit here, is the best hockey player I've ever seen. So why would I not want him to keep start winning rings, keep winning trophies, and establish himself as that? It's the same way anyone who defends the old times in the NBA. Like if I'm not arguing with a 70-year-old that Wilt Chamberlain's not the GOAT. It's like, yeah, he can be for you. Why would you not be rooting for Connor McDavid tonight? The same way I don't understand why the Chiefs have so many haters or people hate the Dodgers. I will never be in the camp of, I don't want to see this guy win. I'm sick of seeing him win. I'll never be sick of seeing the best players, the generation-defining players, win rings and stay on top. That is why I will be rooting for the Oilers tonight, and I'll be rooting for Connor McDavid to finally get this thing done because he joined some pretty elite company if he was able to claim this first ring. Obviously won the Conn Smythe Trophy last year despite losing in the finals, which is, I can't figure out if I like that or not. They do it in the Stanley Cup once in a while. They give the Conn Smythe Trophy to a player on the losing team, and I guess my brain just goes to, what would this look like in the NBA? Like, I'm pretty sure NBA Twitter and the meme culture behind that league would just have a field day on whoever they were to give that to on the losing team, and maybe that just doesn't exist as much in the NHL world. I just don't know if I don't know if I like it, giving the Conn Smythe Trophy to a losing team. Because that could happen again this year. You could lose the Stanley Cup and still win this trophy.
I have a rebuttal to your Oilers take that you're rooting for McDavid. I'm not saying you're wrong, but let's go back a couple months. You were a big fan of the Four Nations face-off, right? That was a big deal for you.
Well, I was a fan of it, but I also said...
But it was cool.
It was very cool, but I also said in the moment, this is probably going to be the peak of the NHL season, which is not a good thing at the end of the day.
I don't disagree. I think it probably was. I'm more of a casual hockey fan than you are. I was tuned into that, and I haven't been super hyped up about the Stanley Cup Finals or anything.
Yeah, their season peaked in February.
Where I'm going at is, remember the USA versus Canada, like real hatred, there was a real feud there, and it's for an all-star game. This wasn't even for a gold medal. This wasn't for the Olympics. This is for an all-star game showdown.
And tariffs.
There was a real blood there. That is why people are rooting against the Edmonton Oilers. USA versus Canada, hockey-wise, I understand there's Americans on the Oilers team, but that is like the biggest feud sports-wise between countries. USA versus Canada hockey. Canada hasn't won since 1993, a Canadian team, a Stanley Cup. That is quite some years. All the American hockey fans want that to continue because hockey's better in the U.S., according to them.
This is no different to me than the conference pride. Like people who are like, oh, the Big Ten, like the Big Ten's so much better than the SEC, and they've been screaming it from the top of a mountain here for the last 2 seasons, and then for the last decade before that, the SEC fans just threw it in your face at every single chance they could that we're the Spirit Conference. It just means more. It's like, can we just enjoy the sport? Can we just enjoy the match? Like,
you don't like rivalries? I mean, that's what makes this stuff good.
No.
Feud,
it's not that I don't like the rivalries. I guess like maybe the conference bias is a little bit of a bad example there. I never understood like the why. Like I don't see Lions fans being like, well, no, the NFC is the superior conference. Like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe this one's a little bit different. I guess like with so many American players on the Canadian teams and vice versa.
Right.
That's what I just don't understand about it. Like, what you want to see the Canadian people, like just their fans, suffer? I again, like the thing that trumps everything for me is storylines and watching players, reach Hall of Fame status, which it's not like Connor McDavid's not going to the Hall of Fame even if he doesn't win a ring, but reach that GOAT status that very few players ever have. That's what I'm always going to be rooting for. I got clowned so much for being like and not like an open Chiefs fan, but like, yeah, I'm always going to be rooting for that player to achieve his legacy. Same way I did with LeBron for so many years. It's like same way I did with the Dodgers in the World Series last year. It's also because I kind of despise the Yankees, but
so why do you despise the Yankees? How is that different than the Dodgers? How is Aaron Judge winning a ring different than Ohtani winning a ring?
I think that's more so like a Tigers rivalry thing.
That's fair.
American League.
More of a John thing, yeah.
Yeah, not wanting to see John happy. Logan in the chat
Look,
says...
all I'm saying is, I think that USA Hockey has clearly been on the up and up the last several years, and I think the Four Nations face-off like really showed that. And so the passion for the American hockey fans to root against Canada as any time that they can is at an all-time high. So that's why people are rooting against the Oilers.
Logan said in the chat, the hate stems from the original 6 and the historic rivalry against the Leafs. Nothing to do with the Oilers. Okay.
But they're still in Canada.
Yes. And I still feel like there's there's a lot of people out there that just despise, like it's like pleasure to them when, like last year, I remember there was like victory laps going on when Florida ended up winning. It's like... Okay, like I didn't know everyone just turned into a Florida Panthers fan here for a couple of weeks. I would have much rather had something to talk about with Connor McDavid. Like I think that would have been like really cool because I think we talked about earlier this week. I think he's the best player in sports without a ring. Why would I not want to see him achieve that? And then you made the point that maybe it is Aaron Judge, but
and that's a good discussion too. But yeah,
I think you can make a case for either of them because both of them. I don't know. I think it's more so McDavid because there's not really anyone on his level right now. And with Judge, it's like there is another guy on his level who's definitely a little bit better than him.
Is there another guy on his level, though? Like, is Ohtani even comparable? Just because of how like Ohtani is the pitcher hitter. I understand he hasn't pitched this season.
Or last year and still won an MVP and was the best player in the league.
Right, but Judge is still the better hitter. I think by a pretty clear margin. Now, Ohtani obviously brings the stolen base aspect and stuff like that, the lefty, but...
Yeah, I guess in the box, Judge is probably a better player, but a baseball player in total, I don't even think it's
That's
close.
why I'm saying, can you even compare that? Can you even compare...
What we just did?
Judge v. Ohtani. You're right, we did.
989-837-6125. That's the number to the Mitt messages. You'll have to remember that number if you want to win the Tigers tickets. That's coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. ESPN had a fake trade for the Tigers to land a former All-Star. Let's hit that next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call on someone who's invested in your success. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. At Edward Jones, we believe in building a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so we can help you work towards achieving what's most important to you.
Contact Kevin Spencer today at 832-8428. 832-8428. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Series opener for the Loons last night at Four Winds Field in South Bend, Indiana. It was the Cubs who got the win. Dominant fashion, 11-3 final. One thing that did stay consistent from over the weekend was Great Lakes' power. They have 3 home runs in their first 2 games in the month of June. Jake Geloff got it last night, a 2-run shot that at the time made it a 1-run game.
The pitch. Geloff swings, crushed in the air to deep left field. If that's fair, that is well out of here. And it's gone. Jake Geloff puts it over the big home run porch and left. Was watching it from the box. Question if it was fair, foul, but it stays. And it was well out of here. 393, 108 off the bat for Geloff. Back at it tonight. Coverage starts at 6:50.
Mountain View Restaurant at Apple Mountain, where casual elegance meets breathtaking views. Our new expanded menu features a wide variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, from fresh seasonal options to your all-time favorites. Whether you're hosting a client lunch, enjoying happy hour, or planning a date night, we have the perfect setting for every occasion. Don't miss our weekly features and refreshing beverages. In the summer, dine al fresco on our beautiful patio and soak in the scenery. Mountain View, where great food meets spectacular views.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know the pervasive use of technology can lead to digital eye strain, burning or tired eyes, headaches, fatigue, loss of focus, blurred or double vision. Overexposure light from electronic devices may also increase the likelihood of developing serious eye conditions such as age-related macular degeneration. To give your eyes a rest, remember 20-20-20. Every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look at something 20 feet away. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
Sneakers laced and smiles ready. That's the vibe at the Greater Midland Dow Run Walk on June 7th.
Whether you're racing like a gazelle or strolling like it's a Sunday walk, this event brings fresh air, good vibes, and plenty of high fives.
Bring your friends, bring your family, and don't forget your best dance moves for the finish line party.
Sign up today at greatermidland.org. Run, walk, or show up just for the snacks. Just make sure you're there this Saturday.
Every Wednesday on The Payoff, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
This Wednesday, we're giving away Detroit Tigers versus Chicago Cubs tickets for this Sunday's game, so make sure to tune into the Ben Bosscher Show on Wednesday.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, live on a Wednesday, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, or on 100.9 The Mitt's app. But if you're going to win those tickets, you're going to have to text in 989-837-6125. That is in the 11 o'clock hour, though. So chance to win those Tigers versus Cubs. Tickets then, Kyle. Tickets then.
Ben, I got to ask you. For the people that are watching on YouTube and Facebook Live, Pistons hat today, man. Pretty sporty.
Doesn't this look
Where'd
good?
you find that at?
So they were selling these limited edition, the first playoff game. Game 3, and I saw them online. I saw the photo of them in store only, so in the shop in the arena.
Oh,
and I saw them online, and I was like debating, like those look pretty cool. I'll see how much they are. If they're anything north of like $55, like nah, I'm all good. So we get in there right when the doors open because they were having that little party in the plaza thing, and we were hanging out in there. Doors open, and we run to the shop because limited edition. And I see them, and it says $80, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I should buy this. And then I looked at it, and I saw the hat, and I was like, yeah, I just have to have this.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I feel like you're already at the playoff game too. It's like you already are there. You might as well spend more money. You know.
I know. I mean, I don't regret it. That's the thing. I don't regret buying.
Yeah,
the
we
hat.
wouldn't have this moment right now.
It's
cool
though. It's got the
on the day.
What would you call this? Not velvet. That's
the
not
brim.
No, but like the fuzzy material. I don't know.
Oh, I
like
get what you're saying, like a mesh type. Yeah.
Not mesh, but like I don't.
Well, you got to get on YouTube and Facebook if you want to see it.
Yeah. Looking right at him. Okay. Let us know what you think about the hat, chat. The people in the car are probably so annoyed when we talk about the YouTube stuff. Like, hey, if you're watching and then they're just not watching. Well, if when you get home or out of your car, wherever you're going. Pull it up on YouTube. Keep
but
the
don't
stream
watch
going.
if you're driving. Yes.
Yes, we do not encourage that. All right, Kyle, give us the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's hop into the morning catch today. Ben kind of already dove into this first one, but Sawyer Gipson-Long to make his 2025 debut today after missing all of 2024 with Tommy John surgery. Made an appearance at the end of 2023 for the Tigers and looked promising, and he's going to be a part of this rotation while Reese Olson and Jackson Jobe continue to be out.
Yeah, this is an interesting start tonight. Like, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on the Tigers, especially after a loss. I know it's just one loss. You can't really gripe on it too hard, but after a loss, you obviously don't want to win 2 in a row or be down in a series to the White Sox. And with a pitcher like this on the mound, who's, had some upside, always been kind of viewed as a high-end prospect, but has dealt with this injury for the last year and a half, a lot of eyes going to be on the Tigers tonight. A lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow. See how
it's
he
a big
looks.
spot for him. I'm excited to see how he can do it. Not even just tonight, but just in general, while he has this opportunity in the rotation, especially with Alex Cobb still out too. So
I don't know if Alex Cobb's coming back, man. They did not seem.
Yeah, he kind of had a little bit more of a setback. It seemed like
he started a game in West Michigan, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it was terrible." Velocity down. Had some issues with his back again. I don't know. I think they'd be lucky to have him.
You predicted this in the offseason after, his
played 3 games last year.
It's
ridiculous.
All right, let's move on. By the way, Tigers, 7:40 tonight. Sawyer Gipson-Long will be going against a TBD because it's bullpen day for the White Sox.
Also, real nice to ease guys back in against the White Sox. You got Parker playing his first games. Dylan Smith had a chance to play the White Sox earlier, and then obviously came in again yesterday. And then Gipson-Long today.
It's AJ Hinch.
It's like a warm-up.
What's going on? It is like a warm-up.
Yeah, it's like preseason.
We had some Tigers potential good news. Let's do some Tigers bad news. Shortstop prospect, top 3 prospect, Bryce Rayner, injures his shoulder last night, diving back into the first on a pickoff attempt with Lakeland. Looked like he was in a lot of pain. Hasn't been confirmed what the injury is just yet, but he did exit the game.
Top 3 prospect on some websites, not a top 3 prospect on all websites. Do you think, because I'm in trade mode, I'm in buy mode, are other teams more cautious about trading for a guy if they're injured? Because the way you showed me the video, he had a pretty severe reaction to it. Immediately started rolling around on the ground like a gator doing a gator roll.
It depends on the injury. I mean,
because it's not like he's coming to the league anytime soon. So would a team just be like, yeah, we don't really care that he's hurt?
I think it's not the fact that he's injured, just the fact he's not playing. You want to see him continue to develop and grow and play. This puts a pause on his development. So yes, I would say it does hinder teams from wanting to acquire a guy like that. Not like he's just going to get taken off the radar of all these teams now.
His numbers were pretty good down in Lakeland, too.
Yeah, he's been doing very good.
And for anyone who doesn't know, this was their first-round pick last year. 831 OPS, low A level right now. I mean, that's pretty good.
Out of high school, too.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just something not that serious and he can be back this season. But like I said, no clue what the injury actually is.
They keep it so secretive in minor league baseball and baseball just in general. How do we still not know what's going on with Jackson Jobe? I wish every sport was like the NFL, where you just knew immediately when stuff. We knew about an ACL tear or an Achilles tear yesterday with Donald Parham, right? Was that his name?
I think
the
so.
tight end. We knew about that
from
immediately.
The Chargers, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he's on a different team now.
Well, but originally from the Chargers.
Yes. Why can't every sport be like that?
I think it's just minor leagues, man. I mean, there's reporters just walking around covering all these minor league teams. You know how it goes.
But we see it at the major league level too.
Yeah, baseball is just weird. Who knows? All right, let's move on to some NBA news. Tom Thibodeau fired as the Knicks head coach yesterday. The Knicks had their most successful season since the early 2000s, the 90s, and got him to the Eastern Conference Finals, and now he's done.
Would a different coach have made a difference in the Pacers series?
I actually believe yes. I usually do not agree with these blaming the coach randomly when a team does really good because it's a player-driven league or whatever. I'm usually out on all that. I think that Tom Thibodeau's coaching style, though, clearly was never going to get this team to a championship. Like, Rick Carlisle ran laps around Tom Thibodeau in that series.
I agree with that.
I would say, he's for sure a floor raiser. Like, a really good regular season coach, gets the most out of his guys, definitely. A motivator. But I think he's just kind of outdated at this point.
the defensive stuff, the hustle stuff. I just I don't know. I thought the Knicks would eventually run into a problem because they're just so Brunson-centric. They have all these great role players like McHale and like OG Anunoby, who I guess isn't creating his own buckets really for the most part. But McHale, he kind of just took a step backwards over the last year and a half because Brunson has the ball in his hands so much. And you compare that to the way that the Pacers play, and it's so get the ball out of my hand, selfless basketball.
Right.
I just don't think the hey, give me the ball, everyone knows what's coming works with a guy like Jalen Brunson. He's not the Luka level. He's not the SGA level. How far is that really going to get you then?
Right. The way I see it is that with the East being as wide open as it is next year, this is the time for the Knicks to, if they're ever going to get to the finals, win a championship, it's now. So they're trying to make a change to get to the next level because clearly they've lost to the Pacers last 2 years, so something is going wrong.
Maybe they're just a better team.
They could be. We got some college news. We talked about it a little bit earlier this week, but the new Michigan State athletic director, Jay Batt, best name I've ever heard all week, by the way. Introductory press conference at 3 p.m. today on Michigan State's campus.
What are you hoping to get from this, Mr. Kyle, Michigan State fan? What do you want him to say?
I mean, it's going to be, we know what he's going to say, right? It's going to be just the cliche, we're looking to get this program in the right direction and blah, blah, blah. I do want him to address NIL, though, and how that Michigan State, with their status as a university and just the history that they have as a football and basketball program, shouldn't be in the state that they are compared to these other programs, funding-wise and NIL-wise.
You see some of the stuff he accomplished at Georgia Tech and at Bama?
He was
with their fundraising
for
stuff?
3 years and just went crazy.
Yeah. Increased Georgia State's or Georgia Tech's funding and donating by 43%. Raised $600 million for Alabama football as their COO. Knows how to get money in the building.
Nick Saban put in a really good word about Jay Batt as well. He put out a quote yesterday just about how good of a hire this is for Michigan State. So I'm excited. I also would like to, we know he's going to just say, we're confident in Jonathan Smith as the coach. That's going to get asked, and he's going to say that.
I don't want to hear that.
I'm interested to see how he says that. Yeah. Okay, just a couple more things. Big news here in MLB. The Rockies have won their first series of 2025.
That's incredible.
Any guesses on how many straight series they had lost, Ben? This is an MLB record.
Going back to last year?
It's going back to last year, obviously, yeah.
How many games are we in? 60? So it's they played 20 series so far. 30?
You're doing the right math. 22 straight series losses. MLB record.
Jeez, man.
First of 2025, man. Shout out to the Rockies.
11 wins. We had the A's 2 years ago. We had the Chicago White Sox last year. And we have the Rockies this year. There just keeps being a worse and worse team. It's incredible how this sport works.
Yeah. All right, last thing on the news. Mike McDonald has confirmed Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback for the Seahawks, as if there was any doubt about that.
Hey, you draft Jalen Milroe. You never know.
I guess so.
I was in a group chat yesterday where they were debating whether or not J.J. McCarthy was going to be the starter for Week 1 and whether he was going to be the starter by the end of the season. And my stance on that was pretty much what I thought was logical, but I don't know. I guess there were some good points laid out on the other side. They invested a top 10 pick in him. He's going to be starting. They wouldn't have done that. And
was he going to be starting pre-injury last year, though? Because Darnold was already on the team.
Yeah, but that was before Darnold had really, had a resurgence.
But Darnold, I think, was going to start Week 1 no matter what last year.
Potentially.
Pre-JJ injury.
I don't think we ever got to find that out.
Right.
He got hurt really early on.
He did, but Darnold was on the team, though, still. They didn't sign Darnold because McCarthy got hurt.
No, correct.
They don't have another guy right now.
Yeah, and if they wanted to bring Darnold back, I think they would have found a way to do it. And the fact that they didn't bring Darnold back, I think obviously JJ's the starter then.
Definitely.
It's not
but we got to remember
Sam
he
Howell's
still
the backup.
Yet to play. He hasn't played a game yet.
I'm not making the argument he's going to be great. I think JJ McCarthy's going to have a good career. I just think he's they invested enough in him to where you're not going to not start him. Right?
Yeah. There was some Tannehill rumors earlier this offseason too. So
get out of here.
Who knows?
Tannehill. All right.
That's it.
When we come back, The Tigers fake trade on ESPN.com. What do we think about it? You guys can drop what you guys think about it in the YouTube chat or text us at 989-837-6125. 10 o'clock hour, we've got a Detroit Lion coming on. And in the 11 o'clock hour, we're sending somebody to the Chicago Cubs versus Tigers game this Sunday at Comerica Park. Stay tuned. It's the payoff 100. There it is. Did it again.
Come on,
It's
man.
the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, sports fans heading up north? Whether you're gearing up for the big game, hosting friends, or winding down after a long day, Hops and Schnapps is your ultimate beverage destination. With one of the largest selections of beer, wine, and spirits in Michigan featuring over 1,000 options from around the globe, we're your beverage experts. Plus, our friendly team is here to help you find the perfect pick. Visit us in Standish, Grayling, and Gaylord today. Hops and Schnapps, raise your glass, raise your spirits.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks Loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters?
Yeah.
100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. You guys can text in at 989-837-6125. Let's get some messages here really quick. We've got Matt texting in saying, hey, congratulations on the new show. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. We've got a lot of good feedback so far on it, man. I'm super happy we're able to do this right now. Also got some negative feedback. Where's Dan Patrick? Hey, Dan Patrick, a legend, but he's not talking about the Lions every day. He's not talking about the Tigers every day. We've got Scott in Midland. Scott in Midland texted in yesterday at 6:20, which is when the best of is playing. Who farted on live radio? You or Kyle? We heard it. Did you fart yesterday?
I don't remember that happening.
A little fart noise?
And it wasn't live, but...
Well, it would have been at some point. Would have been, I don't know what segment you put in the 6 o'clock or the 6:20
I must have played,
hour.
Is there a sounder? No.
No, I don't think so. Awkward. Real awkward.
Very awkward.
Logan in the chat says Nick should hire Monty Williams. No, Monty Williams should be banished and blacklisted from the NBA.
Come on, bro.
And banished from ever stepping foot on a basketball court again. Fergie Fresh says Livy Dunn could be the face of Detroit sports. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, she could. That'd be great. Eli on the chat says, hear you about the Chiefs and Mahomes' legacy, but it's hard to support them with the NFL's obsession over them.
Ooh.
What up?
Perfect time to play this sounder, by the way, for your last one.
You guys are perverted.
We've been waiting on that one for a little bit, too.
I have been waiting on that one.
Hey, dude, I didn't say it. Fergie Fresh in the chat said it, that Livy Dunn could be the face of Detroit sports. I'd be for that, though, you know. We got another one says, congrats on the show here. This is from Fergie texting in. If Paul Skeens come to Detroit, will you please book Livy Dunn on the show? Dude, she's probably pretty hard to get a hold of, if I had to guess. The PR team's probably...
That is, more tough of a get than a lot of, high up sports people, I think.
We have a Detroit Lion coming on later today, and I guarantee you it'd be probably harder to get Livy Dunn on this show than Jared Goff.
I was literally just about to say that.
Yeah,
it would absolutely be harder.
Even getting a hold of her, I would imagine, is basically impossible. Her PR team probably blocks
It's
everything.
easier to get Paul Skeens on here than Livy Dunn.
You're probably right about that. You're definitely right about that.
All right, let's move on.
Kind of a creepy, yeah. Let's move on. Indeed. What do we have next in the rundown? Oh, the Bichette trade. Jeff Passan put out an article yesterday that said the Tigers. He kind of put out a little trade deadline preview, and he said the Tigers should be interested in getting Bichette in the building. I started to look into that more because I think Bichette's a pretty recognizable name. The double B, it's kind of just got a ring to it. And I was like, okay, can Bichette actually help the Tigers win a World Series this year? And, you pull up the Baseball Reference, 276 batting average, 748 OPS, so right around league average for the OPS. Has 7 home runs, all of which have come in May, so he's hot right now. Doesn't strike out a whole ton, but also doesn't really walk either. Exclusively plays shortstop. So you'd have to trade Trey Sweeney in this situation. But then you look at his defensive stuff, and not only is it bad, it's really bad. A -4 run value, a -6 outs above average. Trey Sweeney is a -2 in both categories. He's also an expiring contract, so this would be a rental. I'm not down at all to give up players in the farm system for a rental who would hurt the team on one side of the ball. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Yes, the bat would be nice. I don't think Trey Sweeney's he's been fine on offense. It's not blowing anybody out of the water. It's not horrendous. It's somewhere in the middle there. It'd be an upgrade, but at the end of the day, that's a league average hitter, 748 OPS, and a really bad defender at shortstop. And he can't play anywhere else the way a Javi Baez can. So I'm not down at all to give up prospects to get Bo Bichette in the building. That makes no sense to me.
I'm starting to be confused on your stance of this whole Tigers trade deadline thing. Because he's an expiring contract. It's not going to take a haul to get this guy. The Tigers have prospects on prospects. I mean, this takes Trey Sweeney plus 2 guys from 15 to 30 in the Tigers' top 30 list. Like, this isn't going to take too much to get him. And he improves the team. Like, I understand the defensive stuff is bad. What is Trey Sweeney, this all-star shortstop?
No. I mean, he's a -2 run value and -2 outs above average. Bo Bichette he's double worse in run value and triple the value worse in outs above average. Why would you try to add that player to the team while giving up prospects in the process to do that? I don't understand that.
He's a right-handed bat that they really don't have a surplus of.
Sure, but why not aim a little bit higher? Why not try to go get somebody why not go try to get Matt Chapman like you probably should have a couple of years ago? Why not see what Nolan Arenado costs? Why not go for Livy Dunn's boyfriends? Like, that's the kind of, like, I think the Tigers fans need to aim a little bit higher when it comes to what they're trying to acquire at the deadline, because you look at their farm system, and we've talked about this the past couple of days, they have the ammunition to make a blockbuster deal here. One of the ones that is the biggest trade in a few years. Obviously, nothing tops like the Juan Soto stuff, but they have the ability, if someone becomes available, to make that type of trade, a blockbuster deal that will go down in history. I don't really want to, just throw little darts around, seeing what they can get back, like a Bo Bichette. I want to aim a little bit higher, especially a guy that's a terrible defender and on an expiring contract. I don't understand the value in bringing that guy in. Yeah, he makes the offense a little bit better. Yeah, they need another right-handed bat. But at the end of the day, hurts the team on one side of the ball and is only going to be here for the rest of this season, and then that'd be it. Whereas Trey Sweeney's at least a guy who's not like, he's got a few years left on his deal. You know what I mean?
So you're basically like, go all in, make a big-time, big boy trade, or nothing.
Yeah, let's make a splash, man. Let's make a splash.
What about the bullpen you've been complaining about? You don't want to make a small bullpen trade?
No, that'd be nice too. But I think I guess my point here is I think Bo Bichette's more of a name that people recognize.
I think that's
clicks
fair
on an article than it is a realistic thing that the Tigers should be going after. If that was their big move at the deadline, I would be disappointed.
It would be a big move, though. Like, it'd be the biggest move they've made at the deadline since,
Well, they've been sellers at the deadline for the last decade, so anything they buy it all. It's the biggest move that they've made. I guess that's the part. That's where I land on this. Like, we can keep tossing around and I'm down to make multiple trades. We can keep tossing around the idea of Bo Bichette, but I think they need to aim a little bit higher and start going after some guys that could become available on bad teams that would cost a little bit more. And I'm okay giving up that sort of capital in the farm system if it means you can add a player that legitimately helps the Tigers. I keep doing that. The Tigers' chances to win a World Series. Because again, you look around the American League. I will continue to emphasize this. There's no one to fear. Make yourself even better. Guarantee yourself. There's no guarantees in baseball, but make it all but more likely that you're going to end up playing in the World Series. And once you are in the World Series, make sure you're prepared to go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, because that is who the competition is likely going to be. Freddie Freeman, another walk-off last night. They're ridiculous. There's so much talent on that team. You have to make sure you're prepared to go toe-to-toe with them. And I think the only way to do that is to make a blockbuster deal and add that sort of player to the team at some point during this summer before the trade deadline.
I think the Bo Bichette archetype, though, is the kind of guy they should be going for. A right-handed third baseman / shortstop that brings power to the lineup over average and base hits and stuff. I think that is what they should be going for. And there's a lot of guys that fit that archetype, but Bo Bichette just makes sense with the contract and everything.
The crazy thing about Bo Bichette is he would be like the 6-hitter on this team.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, I understand what you're saying in terms of like the archetype.
We don't need a top-of-the-lineup guy. Yeah, exactly.
No. But to be able to add a player like that would be pretty fantastic, because that would mean like Torkelson's in the 5 or 6 spot every night. Like then all of a sudden the lineup becomes pretty nasty from top to bottom. But again, I think the arms are a little bit more important in terms of what we're trading for here. All right, coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we have a Detroit Lion joining the show. Look at that, first guest, a Detroit Lion. And then in the 11 o'clock hour, we're giving away Tigers versus Cubs tickets for Sunday's game. Cannot wait. It is a jam-packed show, so stay tuned with us here. It is the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Sneakers laced and smiles ready. That's the vibe at the Greater Midland Dow Run Walk on June 7th.
Whether you're racing like a gazelle or strolling like it's a Sunday walk, this event brings fresh air, good vibes, and plenty of high fives.
Bring your friends, bring your family, and don't forget your best dance moves for the finish line party.
Sign up today at greatermidland.org. Run, walk, or show up just for the snacks. Just make sure you're there this Saturday.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Celebrate Father's Day at Dow Diamond Sunday, June 15th. It starts with the Play Ball Weekend Kids Clinic presented by Central Michigan University. Make sure they're pre-registered at loons.com. After the game, step on the field for a special Father's Day catch, a memory that will last a lifetime. There's something for the whole family this Father's Day. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
10 o'clock hour, Ben Bosscher Show, day number 3. Got a Lions thing for you in just a second. We've got a Lions guest coming up later on in the show. We've got a ticket giveaway coming up later on in the show. But before we get to any of that, another text here. What GM/coach in Detroit sports do you trust the most and which the least? Brad Holmes has the pedigree and enough evidence to where you have to be able to trust him. And I don't love every move that Brad Holmes has made. I don't love giving up a future third to come back up into the third and take Giovanni Manu, a guy out of British Columbia who no one had on their board whatsoever. I don't love what they gave up to acquire a guy like Isaac Tesla. But, I mean, he's just done it enough and done it here for long enough to where you have to trust him. But the Pistons president of basketball operations here has made no mistakes. It's been a perfect first year for Trajan Langdon. He has done no wrong. So I guess the answer kind of just has to be Brad Holmes, but who has a higher batting average? It's definitely Trajan Langdon. He just has fewer at-bats.
Yeah, but he's like not a qualified hitter yet.
Exactly.
Right.
The worst is by far Steve Yzerman.
It's Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes for sure is the answer. Stevie Wise for sure is the other answer.
Yeah, Steve Yzerman has...
Great question.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can drop questions here in the chat. You guys can drop questions on the Mitt message line, 989-837-6125. It's an interactive show these days, you know, Kyle? Try to get the fans involved. Try to get the people involved.
Let's expand it just really quick.
Okay.
Is Scott Harris leaning on the side of trust or distrust?
Oops, sorry about that.
At this point. Because I know you're not the big Scott Harris guy.
No, I just think he hasn't done much. The guys he's drafted aren't in the majors yet.
But they're the guys that are crushing in the minor leagues.
Well, according to the new updated prospect rankings, Max Clark took a pretty big dip. And I have a feeling once the MLB and ESPN one comes out, maybe he takes another dip because he was the number 3 prospect, and the latest one he was 7. I still believe in Max Clark in full, but like the players have developed, he's hired the right people. I don't know. I don't think he's like the super genius that some people make him out to be. But it's hard to sit here and like bang your fist and say, I want Scott Harris gone when they have the most wins in baseball. So
right.
I would say,
and just
I guess
the best
on
organizational success, top to bottom.
Yeah, I would say on the side of trust, even though I think he kind of walked into a lot better of a situation than was presented to him when he got offered the job.
Alavila praise here at 10:02 a.m.
Yes, Alavila praise. Never would have guessed that, right? Would much rather have a bullpen guy than an offensive hitter. That was another comment we got. Yeah, me too. Me too. Based on last night's game and watching that bullpen get lit up by one of the worst offenses in baseball, yeah, I also would rather have a bullpen guy than an additional bat. I'd rather have Paul Skeens than anybody. Okay, there's a Detroit Lion that is holding out of OTAs right now, not Frank Ragnow. It would be Alex Anzalone. And the report on that is, well, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt because the same report said Frank Ragnow is unhappy with his contract situation. So I guess you can kind of throw that article out the window, especially considering Alex Anzalone has been absent from OTAs the past couple of seasons just because the O in OTA stands for optional. And Alex Anzalone is a 31-year-old veteran who doesn't have a whole lot to gain from OTAs. St. Brown not there either. It's not too big of a deal. The thing with Alex Anzalone, though, is he is an expiring contract. He's only a $7.2 million cap hit this season. He's not even a top 20 highest paid linebacker in the league. He's not even the highest paid linebacker on the team after the Derek Barnes extension. But if I had to guess, Alex Anzalone's going to demand another contract. I don't know if he's the type of guy to hold out for training camp and, legitimately start taking fines. I don't think so. You never know. But if he's going to kind of play hardball here, I've got bad news for Anzalone, man. And anybody out there that loves Anzalone, I just don't anticipate him being a Lion next season. And that's nothing against him. He should be demanding more money. Let's look at what the defense looked like with him and without him last year. Weeks 1 through 11, Alex Anzalone on the team. They were second in defensive DVOA. Then he gets hurt, missing for 5 weeks. The Lions were 31st. Now, there were some other injuries that happened there too, like Ali McNeil and Carlton Davis, but he returns week 18, and guess what they were in week 18? Second-rated DVOA. They started getting toasted in the play-action game when you had guys like Ezekiel Turner and Quan Alexander playing linebacker. They didn't have the speed to get any runners going to the outside on some outside schemes, and they didn't have the athleticism to hang with anybody in the pass game, so they got killed over the middle. The Bills did it. Basically, everybody in that stretch destroyed the Lions over the middle of the field. So he should be demanding more money because he's a severely underpaid player, not only on the Lions, but across the league. My problem is you don't draft a first-round linebacker if you're going to pay a 31-year-old. You don't extend Derek Barnes if you think you're going to pay a 31-year-old. He deserves the money, but you look at everyone that the Lions have to sign. Still, Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch, potentially Jamison Williams. That's a completely different conversation. Maybe Jahmyr Gibbs. all these guys in line to get extensions. I just struggle to find a way to pay Alex Anzalone. And I'm not a cap genius. Brad Holmes has figured out some pretty savvy ways to, stay under the cap. Specifically looking at the Kirby Joseph extension with all that kicked down the road, but eventually you still have to pay it regardless. They're 29th right now in cap space for 2026. They have no room. And that goes back to they kind of have to win it this year. Last year and the year before was the window. And then after this year, it's going to get a lot harder because the Goff and Amon-Ra and Sewell extensions all start to kick in. And then you have to start paying even more people. I don't anticipate Alex Anzalone being a Lion next year. So if he's going to hold out during training camp, he's not present for OTAs, I've got bad news. I just don't see him getting an extension. If he wants the money he deserves, and he deserves a big-time pay raise, but they can't afford to double his contract. No way.
Do you think this turns into an actual holdout where he legit doesn't play unless he gets the extension?
No, I don't. I don't think there's anybody in the Lions organization that is willing to take it that far. I think they've established their culture enough to where if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here, man. They'll gladly cut ties early.
But I mean, he does bring to the table, in his defense, he's been here longer than a lot of the guys. He's been through the rough parts of being with the Lions and has kind of got it out the mud, right? A guy that was his first year under Dan Campbell, a lot of Lions fans wanted him gone, and he's just drastically improved, become the captain of this defense the last couple years. So that's the angle he can take. I've been here when it was bad, stuck through it, and I deserve to be here long term.
Yeah, thank you. But we've got other guys that are going to take priority over that. It's just a simple matter of fact. If they wanted to re-sign Alex Anzalone, they wouldn't have paid Derek Barnes and extended him. Eventually they're going to have to stop extending guys.
Yeah.
And they haven't done that yet.
The Barnes contract was for sure that's how you knew.
Eventually they can't pay, they can't pay everybody forever. And that's the only downside of being such an elite person at drafting is you can't pay every single one of your guys. You can try to, and if you can find out a way to do it, let me know because I'm yet to see a team do it. There's a reason the Eagles just traded Huff, right? They needed to shed some cap. They needed to add more picks later on. That's the downside of being that good at drafting. But I can think of a handful of players I'd rather have signed to a longer-term contract than Alex Anzalone. Nothing against him. Seriously, nothing against him. Because he's tremendously improved this defense. He's tremendously improved individually from what he was like in 2021. Because I was in the camp of get this guy off the team. That was partially because there was no talent surrounding him. Now there is talent surrounding him, and he's thriving as a captain on this team, as a difference maker on this team. But that's kind of why you drafted Jack Campbell, right? To take that green dot eventually.
Right.
To be the captain of the defense. So we can play this whole hardball thing. And I think I would love to have Alex Anzalone back. And most Lions fans would love to have Alex Anzalone back. Really good guy in the community too. But at the end of the day, this is about staying under the cap. And I don't anticipate the Lions being able to pay him and stay under that cap starting next season. You can give him some more money this year, but what good does that do? Nothing.
Yeah,
he
just wants the long-term money, exactly.
Right. So
I just fear that this bleeds over because the Lions haven't had any contract situations yet, or just with disagreements with their guys. They've gotten ahead out of all of those. The Frank Ragnow thing was obviously confirmed not to be a contract thing. So if this does bleed into actual preseason training camp, I don't love that just because the Lions have avoided this, and a lot of teams struggle to avoid it because it's just a hard thing to do, right? Guys can hold out as long as they want to if they want a new contract. So I fear that this could start something that we haven't seen yet with this front office.
Do you believe any of those reports, though, at this point, with the fake reports about Ragnow? Because that's a big hit for that publication, man.
It absolutely is.
For me, at least, I don't know if I'm reading their stuff anymore. And that's kind of a publication and a guy who's been on the beat for a long time. But a pretty critical mistake there.
Yeah, it is. And especially the fact that Dan Campbell, before we knew the Ragnow news, said that he's not worried at all about the contracts of Frank Ragnow and Alex Anzalone.
Yeah,
obviously,
go ahead.
Should have been worried about Ragnow retiring, but he didn't want to say that, obviously.
Right. All right. Well, now that we've got that out of the way, I just wanted to kind of get that out there. We still have some things to get to today. I want to know if it's fact or if it's fiction, if it's an overreaction or not, for Tigers fans that the bullpen has just straight up been bad. It was bad yesterday, got lit up by the White Sox, and to me, that is not an overreaction whatsoever. I think that the Tigers, why have I done that like 3 times today? The Tigers need another bullpen arm at some point. I'd like to add one at the deadline. I thought yesterday was just highlighting a problem that has existed here for a while, that one of the worst offenses in the league absolutely lit up the Tigers on a bullpen day. It's concerning. It's not the way I'd like to go down. That's actually one of the worst ways to lose baseball games. So I think that's something the Tigers need to start considering. I'd like to hear if anyone else agrees with me or if that is just an overreaction. We've got a poll going on Twitter right now. You guys can text in 989-837-6125 or leave a comment in the YouTube chat. Kyle, it's starting to get nice outside. Looks like there might be some rain today, but this weekend it is going to be nice, and I think I am going to go to the beach. I've lived here for a whole year, and I've never been to the Bay City State Park. And if I'm going to go to the beach, I'm going to need some snorkel gear, and the best way to get that is at Dive and Glide. Explore Great Lakes shipwrecks and dive into adventure with Dive and Glide. Sign up for an open water dive course at diveandglideinc.com. Learn the skills, practice, and get certified. Whether you're a beginner or brushing up on your skills, they've got the classes to get you your underwater confidence. If you're already a pro, hey, they've got the best state-of-the-art gear available online. Fins, regulators, masks, gauges, all the stuff you need to go snorkeling here in the Great Lakes. Visit diveandglideinc.com and gear up for your next underwater adventure. Again, that's diveandglideinc.com, Michigan's home for all things scuba. Let's take a trip around the league next.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
When the winter chill sets in, nothing feels better than a cozy home. At Answer Heating and Cooling, we know how important it is to stay warm on those frosty nights. Our expert technicians are just a call away, ready to ensure your heating system runs efficiently and keeps your family snug. Don't get caught in the cold. Schedule your winter tune-up today and enjoy a cozy, worry-free home. Answer Heating and Cooling, where your comfort is our priority. Visit us online or call today.
Celebrate Father's Day at Downtime and Sunday, June 15th. It starts with the Play Ball Weekend Kids Clinic presented by Central Michigan University. Make sure they're pre-registered at loons.com. After the game, step on the field for a special Father's Day catch, a memory that will last a lifetime. There's something for the whole family this Father's Day. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
We got a good stat from the chat on the YouTube chat. Austin Brubaker says Tigers are 24th in the MLB in strikeout percentage as relief pitchers at 20.6%. They need more swing and miss late in games to win big playoff games. Couldn't agree more. What a great stat.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a great poll.
Especially with their two good late relievers.
Yeah, neither of which got to play yesterday because they got blown out. No point in playing your good relievers when you're losing in games. But Tommy Kahnle and Will Vest, totally trustworthy. Everyone else in the bullpen, don't care for. Bo's got some upside, but just hasn't been good this year. It was actually an okay start for him. What do you go?
Yeah, I mean,
1
he
2/3.
Fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
It's just weird because, like, if you're going to trade for a reliever, you're not trading for a sixth inning guy, right? You're trading for a back end guy. So then it just kind of adds another guy into that mix.
Well, then Kahnle can kind of move down.
Right, yes.
And then you just have three options to get you through a game. And then it just ultimately leads to not having to play some of these other guys. Because I love the Kahnle 8th inning, Vest 9th inning combo. That's awesome to protect a lead.
Agree.
But that also requires your starter to go 7 innings. Or at least like 6 2/3, 6 1/3. And then you have one guy in and you beg them to get just a couple of outs, which sometimes is difficult for some of these Tigers relief pitchers. All right, let's, if it's okay with you, take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Ben, you ready for some fun trivia today?
Yeah, I don't know if I like the word trivia, though.
Right.
It's kind of old-fashioned.
Prediction, guessing, I guess. We've done some fun ones the last couple days.
Tell the people what you got.
All right, so today, The Athletic, they dropped a list of ranking the number 1 overall recruits of the 21st century from football standpoint. So these are guys that were out of high school, ranked number 1, going into college, and they decided to rank all of those.
Going back
of them.
Going back 25 years.
Yes, going back 25 years. And all 25 of them are ranked. Obviously, you're not even going to be able to name all 25 of these because there's busts and stuff.
How about I shoot for the top 10? And we'll see. How long is this segment? How long is this sounder?
8 minutes.
I got 8 minutes to name the top 10. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Number 1 has to be Vince Young, right? He's the top prospect of all time, I believe.
Yes. Class of 2002, Vince Young, number 1.
Do you know who the second best recruit of all time is? I believe. At least at the quarterback position. I guess I don't.
Like on this you're just saying in general.
Yeah. I believe it's Bryce Underwood.
Actually?
I believe the second highest quarterback ranked prospect of all time on 24/7 is Bryce Underwood. But he's not on this list, right?
Not on this list.
Yeah.
Yes, they just go to 24.
This is based on how they performed in college when it was all said and done?
I would assume so. I'll read the description as you continue to guess. But I'll figure out if maybe it is just out of high school.
Okay. Let's go. Hey, let's go with the most recent guy. Travis Hunter, my dude.
Travis Hunter, number 2. Nice. You got the top 2.
I love him, man. I don't think I've loved a college, like a non-quarterback.
It is based on college career,
okay.
By the way, yes.
It's not just a flat-out prospect ranking.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think
Travis Hunter, Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Vince Young, so.
I don't think I've ever had as much fun watching a college football season and a college football player as I did with Travis Hunter last year.
We know.
I know. I was just going to say, I don't need to explain that over and over again. Okay, I got 1 and 2. I'm definitely not going to be able to do this in order.
It's all offensive players in the top 5. I'll give you that.
Okay. Was Andrew Luck a number 1 player out of high school?
Andrew Luck was not.
He's not even on the list?
Not even on the list. Well, I don't think he was number 1 ranked quarterback.
Jeremiah Smith, I know, is number 1. Is he top 10?
He's number 8 already. Yes.
That's
class
incredible.
Of 2024.
After one season.
One season ranked 8th. So it goes to
rightfully
show how many
so,
guys
though.
Maybe
he's
didn't
disgusting.
Work out. Yeah. A lot of these guys are pretty recent. Like
Trevor Lawrence.
The ones that aren't that recent are big. Trevor Lawrence, number 3, yes. Class of 2018.
Okay. We're off to a pretty good
really
start.
Good. I mean, he was tremendous in college. Never won a Heisman, but he was like
Yeah, but he
very, very good college quarterback.
I would say beating Alabama as a true freshman in the national championship might be a bigger accomplishment than winning a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I would say so.
Was Watson a number 1 prospect?
No.
Just thinking of Clemson guys. Okay.
No, you've got number 4 and 5, both running backs.
4 and 5, both
some time
running
ago.
backs.
Both are gone from the NFL, but one of them pretty recent.
There's
SEC
2 running
RB
backs.
and a Big 10 or Big 12 RB, excuse me.
Oh. One of them's Leonard Fournette, right?
Leonard Fournette, number 5, yes, class of 2014.
And the other person's number 4?
Number 7s. Other person's number 4, yes. One of the better running backs of all time.
I was going to say Derrick Henry, but you said he's already out of the NFL?
Been out of the NFL. This guy's from class of 2004.
That's not Adrian Peterson, right?
It is Adrian Peterson. Yes.
Nice.
Number 4 from Oklahoma. So you got the top 5. You have number 8 with Smith. So you're looking at 6, 7, 9, 10. You have 1 quarterback. And then all defensive players. Oh, no, there's 1 offensive lineman.
Give me the offensive lineman. I'm not going to get that.
Yeah. Andre Smith, guard, class of 2006, went to Alabama. Is 7.
If it would have been like in recent years, I might have had the shot. But yeah,
Right.
I'm not getting Okay, so I need 3 more?
1 quarterback, and you just recently watched him play football in college. Number 9.
Like played this past season?
Yes.
Well, Shador was like Cam and Ward and Shador were like barely prospects at all.
Right. You may forget about this guy just because he ended up at a different school than when he was recruited as the first overall prospect.
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers, yes,
Boom!
number 9. I remember coming out of high school, man. Big time hype around Quinn Ewers, and then obviously leaves Ohio State pretty early to go to Texas.
Can an average NFL fan name where he got drafted?
Like team or?
Yeah.
Probably not.
What are the odds he plays this year? For the Dolphins.
I'll say they're kind of weird over there. Like
Tua's going down at some
McDaniel
point.
McDaniel doing it. Yeah, potentially.
Tua's going to miss some
you're
games
right.
at some
Tua
point.
will get hurt. Do you want me to just give you the rest of these?
How much time do I have left?
You still got 3.5 minutes.
What
You should get number 6.
Give me some
defensive
positions.
end.
Chase Young.
No.
A
little bit earlier.
Nick Bosa.
No. This guy was insane college player.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes, Jadeveon Clowney. Michigan fans remember him well from his
Michigan
college
fans
days.
remember him very well.
Yes. So you got 7, 8, 9, and 9, so you're just missing 10. Ernie Sims from Florida State, a linebacker.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. So.
Yeah, that's kind of why I just threw it at you.
I
want to see if there's any more.
In the middle of throwing it at
QBs
me, I
on
was like,
this
I wish I could have guessed, and then you finished it. I was like, yep, wouldn't have gotten that.
Okay,
I thought I did
one
pretty good.
Michigan guy on this list, though. Can you guess who it is? 16. If you know your Michigan recruiting history well, this is the lone first overall prospect that went to Michigan that I know, because I think it is the only
Rashawn
one,
Gary.
obviously. Yes, Rashawn Gary, 16th on the list.
There we go. Is there any more like notable ones that we need to throw out?
Yes, 23rd, another quarterback, recent. Like still in college.
Oh.
2023.
Arch Manning?
Arch Manning.
I did better on this than I thought it would, honestly.
Yeah, you did, honestly. And then, like,
I did better on
some of
this
these
than
guys-
guessing the odds yesterday for all the NFL awards.
I feel like you did pretty good at that, honestly.
Did okay.
There's one more quarterback on the list. I'll have you guess him because this is a hard one. 15th, class of 2009. I don't want to give you the school, but this guy did not have a successful NFL career. And wasn't picked high either.
It's too.
But was hyped in college, for sure.
It's too late after. What conference?
Pac-12.
Oh, man. I already
Or
guessed
maybe it
Andrew
was the
Luck.
Pac-10 in 2009. Played under a coach that coaches in the NFL. That might have given it away.
Played under a coach that's currently a coach in the NFL?
Yes.
Is it a USC guy?
It is a USC guy.
Oh, I know who it is. I'm
that's
drawing a blank on the name. No, but I'm drawing a blank on the name. Like a career backup, basically, right?
As a backup? Yeah, career backup. Never a starter. Never once a starter. Like a real starter.
Trent, is that it? No. Who is it?
Matt Barkley, USC.
Yeah,
class of
Matt
2009.
Barkley. I didn't know he was a number one over player. Number one overall recruit.
Yeah.
Because he was on Russillo's pod a couple weeks back.
Oh, was
That's
he
how I
actually?
remember that. Yeah. Because I was like, oh. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name.
Shout out to Matt Barkley, man.
2009. I was a little too young to be in the depths of the recruiting cycles, you know?
Right, of course. If I was doing this for basketball, by the way, I would go 25 for 25.
Really?
I used to be deep in the recruiting game of high school hoops.
Maybe we can do that tomorrow if The Athletic comes out with a piece.
Hopefully they do.
If
That's
anyone's
it, though,
listening.
for Around the League.
All right, there you have it. That is Around the League, a daily segment here on the Ben Bosscher Show. All right, it's that time. I've been teasing it the whole show. Next, should I give the name?
Yep.
I think we have to. Anthony Pittman of the Detroit Lions joins us here on the Ben Bosscher Show when we come back. No visuals on this one. We'll throw up a graphic. It is just going to be audio. But hey, speaking of vision, you guys can see the difference at Midland Eye Care, where your vision is their focus, offering comprehensive eye exams, glasses, contacts, and advanced eye health services. Friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a wide selection of stylish frames for every face and every budget. Locally owned and trusted by families throughout the Midland area while offering comprehensive eye care services and in-demand lenses and frames. Whether you're updating your prescription or checking on your eye health, they've got you covered. Book your appointment today and start seeing clearer tomorrow. Anthony Pittman of the Detroit Lions up next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Kari Kiefer from Freeland High School. With a 3.97 GPA, Kari is a three-sport athlete competing in cross-country, track, and basketball. Kari is a leader on the floor and talked on what she thinks makes an effective leader.
I think to be a great leader, you have to be able to hold each other accountable, like being able to give constructive criticism, but also a positive with it. Anytime I kind of talk with my teammates, I try to give them a positive if I'm going to give them a negative too, just to kind of balance it out and keep that relationship strong.
Kari scored over 1,500 points in her 4 seasons at Freeland. She'll continue her basketball and academic career at Northwood University. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt's Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Lisa Tarkington, Executive Director of LEAD, formerly known as Self Love Beauty.
The year 2020, it was April, it was the month after like the big shutdown. I called my mom and I was like, what am I doing? I have no money. Yeah, like I have no 401k right now. Like I have, I'm just making it, just getting by at this point and the world just shut down. And she asked me, do you really want this? And I was like, I want nothing more than to see this succeed. She was like, then you'll figure it out. And I did. I don't know how I did sometimes, right? But I did. And I think that comes back to discipline, never giving up on myself.
Listen to the full interview with Lisa on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Greenland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesapeake, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. We've got a special guest here with us, joining us. Detroit's own, Wayne State's own, the Detroit Lions' own, Anthony Pittman. Anthony, how's it going? I know you just wrapped up OTAs. How's everything going on that end?
Yeah, everything's going great, man. Football's doing well. It's good to be back in Detroit, with the team, back in the hometown. I take a lot of pride in that, and we're looking to have a great year.
Yeah, absolutely. You are currently in the process of putting together something that is really cool. The Detroit Dreamers Foundation Youth Camp. Tell us a little bit about that, how you got it started, why you're doing this down at Wayne State, and how people can get involved, because this is a really cool cause.
Yeah, so this is something I've been talking about doing for years. And, finally, going to D.C. and back to Jacksonville, I felt like it was time for me to come home, have a camp, do something for the community, everyone come back home to Wayne State and just have this great camp. So it's June 21st at Tom Adams Field at Wayne State. It'll be from 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m., ages 8 to 16. And it's just an opportunity to come out. It's going to be a beautiful day. Come out, do some drills, interact with some pros, some great coaches from colleges, the Detroit area. And just really it's all about community. We're going to have some Wayne State OGs coming and grilling, have some food for the kids, great, some competition, maybe some races, some one-on-ones, things like that. But just a great time for kids to come out and, learn some football skills, learn some wisdom from these older guys, these professionals, and just come out and just make it a great day for the city of Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the community part of it, Anthony. I think your story is super cool because you're from Detroit, went to college in Detroit, and now have played for the Lions for a lot of your career. So especially with the camp, hosting that here, what does that mean to you? What does Detroit mean to you to host this year?
It means so much to me. Like I said, I grew up and watching Matthew Stafford and Kelvin Johnson and all those guys, from the 0-16 season to going to the playoffs and then, to where we are now and being a part of it is just amazing. So when I first joined the Lions, it was a huge deal for me. And I'm super grateful to still be with the team. And like I said, it's nothing like playing for Detroit. Even going off to Washington and playing for Jacksonville, it's not the same. So just being back home, and I felt like the time was now. I'm a little older. I'm a veteran in the league. I just felt like the time was now for us to, put something together and make it big for the city.
For sure.
I've got a couple more questions about the camp, but since you brought it up, there's no place like Detroit when it comes to the Lions. And I think, we hear about it all the time. The Lions do it just a little bit differently. Can you give us an example on, obviously you just mentioned you spent time with Washington and Jacksonville. What is different about the way it is done in Detroit when you're in and out of the building every single day? Because obviously we don't get that perspective on things.
Yeah. I mean, you've heard it, the Detroit grit. You know, there's a certain style we play with, certain way we practice and we go about the day. And if you're not ready every single day, you're gonna stand out, not in a good way. So, you know, once you get in that environment around Dan, how we preach every day, you know, it's go time. And a lot of other places, you know, it's just not that way. And I was able to see both sides of it. So I really see, and it's been working for us. So I'm glad to be back in that gritty situation.
Back to the camp here for a second. Take me through what the process was like from the time you thought of the idea, because it sounds like it's been on your mind for a few years now, to actually, you know, having this mapped out, with it being just a couple weeks away. Again, it's Saturday, June 21st. What was that process like? Like, how did you initially get the ball rolling?
Yeah, like I said, it's been in the works for years, and it's always been a thought. And honestly, going, you know, to another city, another situation where I'm able to really, you know, I'm out there on my own. It's unlike Detroit, where I have my community, my family, and, you know, I have a lot of support. I'm on my own, and I'm really thinking, you know, how can I impact? How can I make a difference? How can I inspire? Like, at the end of the day, I felt like that was part of my story, is to tell my story and to now pass on wisdom to others and to the youth, whoever needs it. And, you know, I'm like, okay, it's time. I felt like it was genuinely time for me to get this camp rolling. And, you know, I sat and talked with my fiance, you know, the co-founder of the Detroit Dreamers, and we're like, let's make it happen. And so we put it into action. We have our great event planner, Chrissy. She's been taking care of things, and we're going to make it happen in a couple weeks. So the first ever, and we're hoping to make it an annual thing. So I'm really excited about that.
I think that's what Kyle was just about to ask.
Yeah,
you.
I was just going to ask, is this something that you plan to do, you know, in the future, long term, make this an every year type thing?
Yes, every year thing. And we're going to keep growing and keep expanding. It's not just going to be the football camps. It'll be other events. I'm not going to tell you too much. You know, can't put all the plans out. Yeah, we plan to grow and expand, because this is also, we've been doing, you know, things like in the community before we started our foundation, you know, passing out meals and, you know, doing community events with the Lions and with other organizations in Detroit. So this is something we've been planning to do, and now we're finally getting it rolling.
Just based on, you know, a quick Google search, and obviously you're going to know a little bit more about this than I do. You're born in California and then moved to Detroit, right?
Nope.
No. Okay, so Google lied.
Google, oh, come on, Google. Detroit, Hustle Hospital.
Okay, so you really are like a Michigander from the start. Did you always know was the plan to go to Wayne State, or was that just like a school that ended up calling and it was a no-brainer to stay home?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So honestly, after high school, I didn't know, after senior year, I didn't know I was going to be recruited. So I made a highlight tape, put it out. You know, then schools started calling. You know, Grand Valley, some schools in Texas, Stanley, Ohio, and Wayne State called. And I was like, I'm not going to Wayne State. You know, it's so close to home. I know the area. I'm like, I want to go somewhere far out of state. And my mom said, you know, take the visit. So I took the visit. Ended up being the best decision I ever made. You know, great coaches, great environment. I'm like, I'm going to Wayne State. So I called Coach Winters, the head coach at the time. He said, I'm coming to Wayne State. I'm ready to be a Warrior. And, man, it's 11 years later, it's still the best decision of my life. You know, got a great degree, got a, obviously, great football career, but Wayne State, man, love it.
When you were on that visit, was there a specific moment or something that happened that you were like, okay, I got to stay here?
You know, obviously meeting the coaches and the teammates, my older teammates, then the linebackers, they were really welcoming. And then, you know, they take the recruits out for the festivities at night, and you know, it's a good time. So I was like, I like Wayne State. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great to hear. You guys are in the middle of OTAs right now. And obviously we just got the news yesterday that Frank Ragnow retired, your I guess now former teammate. How like off guard did that catch you guys? Is this something that was discussed at all, or because I think Kyle and I, just speaking on behalf of like some of the fans, we were pretty caught off guard by this. Is this something that people knew about within the organization, or no?
Well, I can't speak to that.
Of course. Sorry.
Yeah. I just know that, I know Frank's had been battling some things, but he's had a hell of a career, and he's a warrior. He was out there battling for us, and we were glad to have him as our center for so long.
Absolutely. What has been the I know you mentioned like grit, obviously that goes without saying, and intensity, but what are like OTAs like just kind of in general? I mean, obviously the pads aren't on yet, but everybody's there working, trying to get better. Like, I guess, what is the intensity level at, and like on a day-to-day basis? Like, what kind of stuff? I don't want me to ask like what you're working on, but how are OTAs like unique to themselves? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have shells and we don't have shoulder pads on, so we kind of got to take care of each other. It's still full speed. We're still going, but then we just got to know when to tone it down. When to take care of your brothers. So it's always it's a line that we toe as the Lions. So every day is kind of just gotta take care of each other.
Well, again, Saturday, June 21st, that's when the Detroit Dreamers Foundation Youth Camp is, hosted by Anthony Pittman down at Wayne State, ages 8 to 16. Only $15. Made it really affordable for everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can sign up at the Detroit Dreamers Football Camp.eventbrite.com.
There you go. You guys heard it first. So everybody out there in the Great Lakes Bay region, or if you've got a kid who's into football right now, ages 8 to 16, go ahead and get signed up for the day down in Wayne State. Should be a good time. Anthony, I appreciate you so much taking the time to join us here. It was an honor to have you, man. This is the first week of the show, and you're kind of our first big-time guest. So this is always going to be something I remember.
I'm honored. Ben, Kyle, thank you, man.
Appreciate it. All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
Stay tuned. It's the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Earlier this week, Michigan State officially hired their next athletic director, Jay Batt from Georgia Tech, also formerly worked in the athletic department at Alabama. And with that hiring, Michigan State has officially started the clock on the hot seat for Jonathan Smith. Now, whether that's his own fault or not, there's a new athletic director there, and he's brought in specifically for NIL purposes, sponsorship purposes, and to get the football program back to where it should be, which is not a bottom-tier Big Ten program. Now, Jonathan Smith hasn't really done anything wrong since coming to Michigan State. He brought in a lot of his guys from an Oregon State program that was successful under him. But in year one, obviously, a decent season. They didn't make a bowl game or anything. But now in year two, there's all of a sudden major expectations for Michigan State to get back into relevancy. And if they don't, why would J-Back keep around Alan Haller's old hire? He wants to bring in one of his own guys to get Michigan State football program in the right direction. Now, what are those expectations for Jonathan Smith Spartans this season? Well, for sure, you got to make a bowl game, but what is the win total at? This is a tough schedule for MSU this year, like it always is in the Big Ten. And Jonathan Smith now in year two finds himself in a very different situation than Spartan fans might have expected a year ago when he was brought in. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Lounge returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm here with Matt Smith with Modern Realty. All right, Matt, forecast 2025 for us.
Well, in 2025, I believe you're going to see a much more balanced market. We've been in a seller's market for a number of years. We're still not busting at the seams with inventory, but we are seeing the market start to balance out a little bit. That means it's still a really good time to get great value out of your home. But for the buyers out there, it also means that your path to home ownership should be a little bit easier.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Thank you to Anthony Pittman for joining the show. Our very first guest being a Detroit Lion. I mean, it feels pretty big time. Like, we got done with that, and I told Kyle, I was like, that was pretty cool. We just did a real radio interview with someone on the Detroit Lions, Wayne State's very own, Detroit's very own. So that was pretty cool.
It was super cool. And a really cool guy, too. Like, just shout out to Anthony for coming on, and he was, like you said, super cool with us. So
I've got some people in mind as to who else I want to have on the show, and I don't want to, like, I'll speak it into existence off the mic, but I'm hoping to have some awesome guests on
for sure
the next few weeks.
But Anthony Pittman in the record books, first ever guest on the Ben Bosscher Show.
Yeah.
Other than, of course, Brad Tunney and John Vicari, you know.
Right. That was because you and I had debated going into it. Should we ask him about the Ragnow thing just because it's going on? And then we were like, no, probably not. And then in the middle of the interview, I was like, screw it, I'm asking him. I may as well. Ask him. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen?
We did decide basically like, probably not. And then it's just like, screw it, do it.
Yeah. The only thing I regret is apologizing for asking. Like, I understand.
You didn't really apologize.
I think I apologized. I think I said, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off guard there. I don't regret asking the question at all.
Why should you? It's a valid question. I mean, a player on his team just retired unexpectedly, seemingly so.
I guess I just could have worded it differently. Like, instead of asking, did you know blatantly whether or not that was going to happen, I wish I would have worded it in a way where it was like, just what are the challenges facing, like throughout the offseason?
Losing a captain that's been here, right, stuff like that.
Yeah. But I don't regret asking. I do regret apologizing.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. But hey, you live and you learn.
It's all part of the growth.
Well, yes.
Week 1.
Exactly. We'll have more guests on as the show continues. Also did a little bit of a wardrobe change during the break. Feels pretty big time.
Oh, nice. So did I. I took off my jacket.
I put on mine. It's kind of cold in here, man. Kind of cold in here. Okay. Let's go over something with the farm system rankings real quick for the Detroit Tigers, and then we're going to do a different segment. Actually, we've got like 7 minutes. Yeah, let's do the farm system thing quick, and then we'll do something else. I've been told I'm a little bit of a sports robot. I know you've I know you've been told that too in the past 24 hours in the sleeper chat that we're in.
Yes.
We're trying to show a little bit more personality. We're trying to develop some personalities here on the airwaves here on the show. So we're going to do something non-sports related in just a second. But before we do that, we wanted to update everyone on a different sort of farm system rankings. I am a MLB.com person. Those are the ones that I care about when it comes to the farm system. To be honest, it's kind of the only ones I care about. ESPN has their own edition, and then this website has their own edition too. I thought it was worthwhile to bring up just because it's so drastically different than the MLB and ESPN prospect rankings too. But it came out yesterday, and I think the biggest takeaway is Kevin McGonicle's 4 of every prospect in the minors right now. He's 27 on MLB.com, which is like 3 weeks old at this point. They should have another one here pretty soon.
Yeah, McGonicle was injured when that list was updated, which is
for him
notable.
To be 4 is crazy. And then Max Clark all the way at 15 here. I just thought that was worth bringing up. And I wonder if the new MLB power rankings are going to, or not power rankings, but prospect rankings are going to replicate that at all.
For sure, McGonicle will move up once the new MLB ranking comes out.
So will Briseño.
I just don't know if he'll be higher than Clark. That, I think, is the big question mark. McGonicle 4, though, on Just Baseball is definitely really high. But a lot of people are really high on him. And the people that do this list are dialed into the minor leagues more than I think the MLB.com, the ESPN rankings are. So,
what about Bryce Rayner, 31, and Jose Briseño, 59, who's 87, I believe, on the MLB.com one? Briseño just won't stop hitting home runs. He leads the Midwest League by 4 home runs.
Right now to when the MLB.com list was made. That 3-week span of how much Briseño's been going off.
It's ridiculous. I talked to their play-by-play, one of their play-by-play guys, Nate Wangler's got like this big following on TikTok too if you want to join that. And he told me the only thing he can compare it to is a Miguel Cabrera swing. It's like gravity just kind of takes into play here. Physics just, when he makes contact with that ball, it's just gone. That's the kind of raw power he has in his swing. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I saw Briseño bombed again yesterday, and I threw out a tweet that was like, awesome. He's just increasing his trade value, and then people, who are we trading for? I think any of these guys are on the table to be traded if it means you can bring in an actual superstar right now. But I think you're not really on that train.
I'm not with the top guys. I mean, think about, you just talked about it with, trading for Bo Bichette. Like, we all know Trey Sweeney's not the long-term answer at shortstop. The long-term answer at shortstop is Bryce Rayner / Kevin McGonicle.
Yes.
Now, McGonicle hasn't played like a crap ton of shortstop in the Tiger system so far. There's been a lot of talk about maybe he's a second baseman. Hopefully he can play shortstop. But one of those two guys is a long-term shortstop of the Tigers. And I would like to have options and not just lock yourself into one of those.
I don't want to run out of time for the other segment we had planned here. So let's jump into that. Wednesdays. Just a few minutes every Wednesday to dedicate to what are we watching that's non-sports related right now? Because I know you're a huge movie guy. I'm more of a TV show guy. What's out there right now that the people need to be watching? You're the one that brought this up, so clearly you have something.
Right. Well, so I watched Sinners, obviously. If you haven't seen Sinners, tremendous film.
I watched that last week. So good.
Yeah. It was so good. I'm a guy that likes to watch a couple movies a week, movies that I've just not seen. And I have a big ranking list of movies that I've watched in my life.
Oh.
But recently I watched the first Accountant movie. I rewatched that because Accountant 2 is out. I need to go see Accountant 2 in movie theaters. But the original Accountant movie, super good. I'm super excited to see Accountant 2 because the first one's really good. Have you ever seen it?
I don't even know what this is about.
It's an action movie about a super genius fake accountant that's actually a hitman. It's a good story.
Who stars in it?
Ben Affleck.
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Okay. And the second one's out in theaters right now?
The second one is out in theaters right now, yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited to go see it at some point.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
I watched Sinners last week. I finally got around to it. I meant to see it for a long time. That was incredible. I think Michael B. Jordan's now on a short list with Chalamet, and who else would be on the list of if he's in a movie, it's just, or she is, it's just going to be fantastic, going to win awards. Leo, I think Leo's kind of the best example of that. And Michael B. Jordan
Maybe a
after
little
Sinners
outdated at this point.
Yeah, but I think Michael B. Jordan after Sinners was like, my God, like every single thing this guy's in just has to be gold. I saw news that the Stranger Things, the new season, is going to come out, and I know you know this. I don't know how much of the audience knows this. I binge watched it all over again last month, and it became like a serious problem, and I forgot how much I liked that show just because it's been off for so long. They're releasing it in 3 parts, and the last episode, the finale, is 2.5 hours. That's just a movie. Netflix is just like changing the way that these shows are coming out. Like the format is just so unique. Which I guess I'm undecided on whether or not I like it or not.
Yeah, but like finales are always like longer than the other episodes.
2.5 hours is insane.
I mean, yeah, right.
That's ridiculous.
It is like a movie,
but that's it. I mean, I like the show. We'll see how it ends. I think it's nominee for the greatest streaming show of all time. It could end up being the greatest streaming show of all time, depending on how this last season goes. For now, it's probably still Game of Thrones, one that I still have not got around to watching. But I have watched House of Dragons. Amazing. All right, 11 o'clock hour. We've still got tickets to give away. Tigers versus Cubs for this Sunday. It's going to be jam-packed. You're not going to want to miss it. Win tickets in the 11 o'clock hour right here on the
Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got him. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
At Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. That's why they're dedicated to working with our clients to provide an insurance plan that's specific to you.
Whether you need life, home, auto, business, and farm, with their team's extensive knowledge and over 100 years combined experience, you can guarantee they work hard to put you in the best insurance position.
The experience matters. Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Sandy Ridge, our completely renovated clubhouse is ready for you. With a brand new full kitchen, a spacious deck, and plenty of room for any event, it's the perfect spot for weddings, parties, or any special gathering. And that's not all. Our whole 16 green has been redesigned and is better than ever. Plus, our greens are the truest around, on par with the top courses, but at a price that fits your budget. Come visit us today at Sandy Ridge and see why we're the perfect choice for your next event.
Celebrate Father's Day at Dow Diamond Sunday, June 15th. It starts with the Play Ball Weekend Kids Clinic presented by Central Michigan University. Make sure they're pre-registered at loons.com. After the game, step on the field for a special Father's Day catch, a memory that will last a lifetime. There's something for the whole family this Father's Day. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
989-837-6125. Look, here's the story for the day. Do we trust the Tigers bullpen? Is it an overreaction, or is it a stone cold fact that this bullpen, as of right now, is simply not good enough? Tommy Kahnle, Will Vest, not included in this conversation, because if the starter can go 7 and those guys are available, Kahnle going in the 8th and Vest going in the 9th is totally fine by me. I think those guys are totally trustworthy. But everyone else, suspect. And last night was a perfect example of why I think these guys are not to be trusted right now, and they do need to add another arm at some point during the season. The White Sox are 29th in average, 27th in on-base percentage, and 29th in slugging. This is, by all accounts, other than the Rockies, who are in their own world, the worst offense in baseball. Bottom 3 offense in baseball. And they destroyed the Tigers bullpen on a bullpen night last night. Bo Brisky was okay to open. Everyone else was disastrous last night. There was some buzz for a little bit that, hey, maybe Dylan Smith can come in and provide some sparks. He was awful last night, spiking to everything in the dirt, had no commands, was kind of all over the place. When it comes to the guys like Hannafy and Holton, I just don't trust these guys anymore, man. There's throwing errors. There's plays that should have been made defensively that just don't happen when balls get hit back to the pitcher. There's 4-ball walks. Like, there's just some stuff going on where it's like you can't walk anybody in this situation, and it takes you 4 pitches to walk. And when that kind of stuff is happening, I think guys just start to spiral, and you can see it happening to where they're losing more and more and more commands of their fastball, of their breaking ball, whatever it may be. I think the Tigers have 2 guys out of the bullpen that I trust right now, and everyone else is kind of suspect. And when you look at the total ERA, what is it, 3.38 is a team bullpen ERA, which is 5th best in Major League Baseball. But again, that's heavily weighed by Kahnle's success and by Vest's success. Brubaker in the chat gave us a good stat. That was the Tigers ranked 24th right now in the MLB, in strikeout percentage as relief pitchers at just 20.6%. There's not a lot of guys in the bullpen other than Vest that are getting guys to swing and miss right now. And if you want to go on this long postseason run and go toe-to-toe with some of the other best teams in the bigs who have some dangerous hitters in their lineup, you're going to need some more swing and miss pitchers. I think they need to add another bat, like more so than a third baseman, more so than any bat in general. I know we talked about the Bichette thing earlier today and how Passan put that in an article. I think that was more so to get clicks, recognizable name, than a guy who would legitimately help this Tigers team. If they're going to trade for anybody, I either want a bona fide superstar or a bullpen arm to kind of settle the mixed emotions coming out of the bullpen right now. I think some stability on that end would be really good.
So bullpen's number 1 need at the moment for you?
Yeah, I mean, superstar would be number 1. But yeah, like bullpen would be the second
Well, I think
answer.
the big reason why the bullpen, you're highlighting it so much, is because of the success of all the other spots, right? It's if there was a major hole somewhere in the lineup, we wouldn't be talking this much about the bullpen. But the starting rotation has been really good. The lineup top to bottom has been really good. And now that they're starting to get healthy, the defense is better. Now, last night was kind of a bad example of that. But
yeah, not a
just
great
in
game.
general, the bullpen seems to be the spot that is the weak point of this team, which is weird to say based off of the numbers that you said. But, I mean, even think about last night's game. Hannafy doesn't have that terrible error. He doesn't give up the run and would keep it 0-0. And then Holton, when he has that ball hit right back to him, I know it was not an error, but it clips off of his mitt. Could have been inning-ending double play, 3-run homer, very next at-bat. So it's just like those little things change the outcome of a game, especially against a White Sox team that you really should never be losing by the margin you did.
Yeah, it's one thing to not trust like the depth in your bullpen against the Yankees or the Dodgers, but for the White Sox to light you up like that, again, we're asking whether or not this is an overreaction. The reason I don't think it's an overreaction is because I've felt this way for a long time now. Yesterday was just highlighting a very problematic aspect of this team, right? Yesterday, I think it kind of came to fruition. You have a bullpen day against one of the worst offenses in baseball, and what happened? They lit you up. And would it have helped if the Tigers could have scored some runs earlier on in the game? Yeah, it would have. But that's not really the conversation. Like, yeah, they've had some 1-0 games lately. They've had some games where they've only scored 1 or 0 runs, but I think you and I and everyone else are on the same page. Like, this offense can put up some some runs in a very quick fashion, especially early on in the game. When they get you early, they're not going to stop.
Right. It can, but it's been a little worrisome these last couple of games. I mean, that blowout game the other night, is an outlier.
They made up for it.
0 against Kansas City Saturday, 1 on Sunday. You still got the win, and 1 last night.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the bullpen can do whatever. When you're putting up 1 run or 0, how much is it on the bullpen?
Right, and you figured they'd go through this stretch at some point
too. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more often than not that they're what are they in total runs at this point in the season? I think they're still a top 10.
Yeah, it still has to be tremendously high, but they have a lot of those games where they put up the 15, they put up the 12s, and it runs that number up.
Once they score early, it's they're in a dangerous territory. Once everyone starts, if they score some runs in the first, it feels like they're going to put 8 runs up. They're still 4th in runs scored. So we can complain about the 1-0 stuff and getting shut out stuff, but they're 4th in Major League Baseball in runs scored.
Leaning on the overreaction side of things, you talked about the team ERA, bullpen-wise, is 5th in all of Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about this weekend in a more high-leverage series against Kansas City. The bullpen came to play. They stepped up this weekend. Obviously, they lost the 1-0 game. They gave up 1 run. I mean, if your bullpen gives up 1 run total, I think you're pretty cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 1-0 game that they won on Sunday, they stepped up. So I think that could be the overreaction part of it. It's just one game last night, the bullpen has a bad one against a bad White Sox team, and you might overreact a bit.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're doing here. But I want to know from everyone else whether or not this is an overreaction. Let's look at some of the comments here. You guys can watch live on YouTube. Leave a little comment. We'll get reading those. Chet says they definitely have room to grow, but I think yesterday may have been worst case scenario. You're definitely right about that. Chet said they definitely need some swing and miss. Hannafy, Herter, and Bo still went 5 scoreless combined. Need some swing and miss badly though. Yeah, it wasn't a clean scoreless 5 innings though. And you thought at some point, at least I did, watching the games, if they keep this up, the Tigers are going to score some runs eventually and take a lead and never give it up. But then, I don't know, disaster started happening, and it felt like they couldn't get an out to save their lives. Dwayne from Bay City texting in, congrats on the new show. Ben, you're not overreacting with the exception of Canely and Vest. The bullpen was embarrassed by a putrid White Sox team. The bullpen guys failed against the Sox. Imagine using these guys against an elite playoff team. Holton and Hannafy need to be replaced, period. Yeah, ideally, neither of those guys are on the team in October, but that seems very unlikely that they had 2 different bullpen arms. I mean, it's not impossible.
Yeah, it could happen.
I don't think they just auto-replace them. But
they really need a high-leverage lefty. I mean, they don't have Holton was the lefty. He was the guy out of the pen that you trusted left-handed-wise. They don't have that with the way he's been playing.
No. Even Chase Lee, right-handed guy. You notice how we haven't said a bad thing about Chase Lee? Even though he also had a bad game yesterday.
I was going to say, you could have after last night.
His story's just too good, man. Walk on at Bama, got sent away, and then a year later, after playing in the intramural league, comes back throwing sidearm, and they're like, he has to be on the team. Plays 4 years, gets all conference recognition, gets drafted.
We've heard it.
Grinds his way up to the majors, and now is living in, I always forget who it was. One of the old Tigers that got traded, one of the closers. He's just living in his trailer park
Chafin,
now.
Right?
Yeah. With his family. Just a great story.
And
I love
guess
me some
what?
Chase Lee.
Lee will be sent down at approximately 4:45 p.m. for Sawyer Gibson Long today.
You think Dylan Smith stays over Chase Lee? Dylan Smith was bad last night.
Maybe not. He was, but you don't bring up a guy for 2 games and then bring him down.
They keep doing that with Chase Lee, though.
Chase Lee's not a real prospect. He wasn't. I mean, he wasn't.
But did you just hear me explain his story? It's fantastic.
Right. Yes. Okay, yes, he
Such
is a
an
real
awesome
prospect
story.
Based off the story.
No, I just like the sidearm thing. You don't see that very much anymore.
No, I know it is cool.
I just get so happy when he rolls out there. It's like, oh my God, such an underdog story. He had no offers to play college baseball. Got cut. Or not cut. They got sent away at walkout try-ons. Came back, just learned to throw sidearm. He got himself to the majors without coaching, really. I mean, he had coaching, but I don't know, it's just crazy that he just left and taught himself how to throw sidearm and ended up in the majors because of it. I like the story. I get happy when he goes out in the mound. In the chat, we definitely need more in the pen, but hopefully it will come with a stride. That's what Joe said. Chet said, would bet Dylan gets sent down today when Sawyer Gibson-Long gets added to the roster. Dylan is only 2.2 innings in AAA. Yeah. I guess I didn't realize he'd played that little in AAA too.
Yeah. See, that almost makes me think that's why they want to keep him in the majors, because they rushed him up with barely any sample in AAA. Like, they clearly see something.
I didn't see too much yesterday.
Right.
Saw him spiking some balls in the dirt yesterday. But also had that nice, I don't know, does he deserve credit for that? He got the guy trying to steal second, but he never even threw a pitch.
Oh, right.
They just tried to catch him off guard. I don't know if
yeah,
he
we
deserves
can give him credit
that.
for it.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. I've been teasing it long enough. I think it's finally time to give some Detroit Tigers tickets away. They're playing the White Sox right now. This weekend, they'll be playing the Cubs in Comerica Park. It is an expected sellout for the entire weekend. But guess what?
Let's go, Tigers!
We are giving someone 2 tickets to go to Sunday's game against the Cubs, 2 of the top teams in baseball going toe-to-toe. It should be fun. Should be a great atmosphere this whole weekend at Comerica Park, and we want to send someone to the game. I will tell you right now, you have to be listening. You have to be texting in, not a YouTube comment, not a Facebook comment in the live chat, but you have to text in to 989-837-6125. That is how we will be choosing a winner. We will give away the keyword when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Series opener for the Loons last night at Four Winds Field in South Bend, Indiana. It was the Cubs who got the win, dominant fashion, 11-3 final. One thing that did stay consistent from over the weekend was Great Lakes power. They have 3 home runs in their first 2 games in the month of June. Jake Geloff got it last night, a 2-run shot that at the time made it a 1-run game. The pitch. Geloff swings, crushed in the air to deep left field. If that's fair, that is well out of here. And it's gone. Jake Geloff puts it over the big home run porch and left. Was watching it from the box. Questioned if it was fair, foul, but it stays. And it was well out of here. 393, 108 off the bat for Geloff. Back at it tonight. Coverage starts at 6:50. It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Kari Kiefer from Freeland High School. With a 3.97 GPA, Kari is a 3-sport athlete competing in cross country, track, and basketball. Kari is a leader on the floor and talked on what she thinks makes an effective leader.
I think to be a great leader, you have to be able to hold each other accountable, like being able to give constructive criticism, but also a positive with it. Anytime I kind of talk with my teammates, I try to give them a positive if I'm going to give them a negative too, just to kind of balance it out and keep that relationship strong.
Kari scored over 1,500 points in her 4 seasons at Freeland. She'll continue her basketball and academic career at Northwood University. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt's Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Lisa Tarkington, Executive Director of LEAD, formerly known as Self-Love Beauty.
The year 2020, it was April, it was the month after like the big shutdown. I called my mom and I was like, what am I doing? I have no money. Yeah, like I have no 401k right now. Like I have, I'm just making it, just getting by at this point, and the world just shut down. And she asked me, do you really want this? And I was like, I want nothing more than to see this succeed. She was like, then you'll figure it out. And I did. I don't know how I did sometimes, right? But I did, and I think that comes back to discipline, never giving up on myself.
Listen to the full interview with Lisa on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Every Wednesday on The Payoff, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
This Wednesday, we're giving away Detroit Tigers versus Chicago Cubs tickets for this Sunday's game, so make sure to tune into the Ben Bosscher Show on Wednesday.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, who wants to go to the Tigers game on Sunday? Kyle, you want to go to the Tigers game on Sunday? Would it be funny if we just rigged it and gave it to ourselves, the tickets?
Let's do it.
Yeah!
It'd be kind of funny, but also I'd rather give it to someone else, you know? So that's what we're going to do. So in just a second, be ready to text in the keyword, which will be determined here in just a second, to 989-837-6125. You do not have to be first person to text in. You do not have to be the second or third person to text in. We will give it about 10 minutes, completely random. Completely random. So as long as you text in that time frame, we're going to give away the key number or the keyword. We're going to hit the news. When we come back from that commercial, hopefully we have our winner selected. So if you do decide to text in an effort to win those tickets, make sure to stay looking at your phone to be able to see us reaching back out to you, because we need to notify our winner and we need to confirm a response to such winner. Do we have a starting pitcher confirmed for Sunday's game? Do we have a pitching matchup yet?
Let me check.
Hold on, I got you.
Just thinking about it, Jack Flaherty, right?
You are correct. Yeah, it's Jack Flaherty. Ball knower you are. Nice
Come
job.
on, man.
And that one's, I didn't realize Friday's Apple TV Plus. Guess we'll try to.
Oh, great.
Guess I'll be illegally streaming that one. I guess
Scuba
we'll do that every
game,
game. MLB Network on Saturday. And then, does that mean no Benetti all weekend until Sunday?
I think so.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. Well, he probably was off Saturday anyways.
Yeah, I know, but to not have him on a Friday game is also kind of stinky. All right, let's give some tickets away then. All right, the keyword today is. Let's keep it simple. Tigers. Text Tigers in the 989-837-6125. You got a chance to win the Tigers tickets for Sunday's game against the Cubs. I think I've made it pretty clear. I've said it enough times throughout the show. I'll say it one more time, and then we'll hit the news. 989-837-6125. Text Tigers. We'll pick the winner here shortly. Okay, Kyle, let's do the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, we're back for the Mitt Morning Catch. Let's get to some stuff that we didn't get to earlier, and then we'll run over the rest of the news. Starting off, a couple Heisman Trophy winners, former Mark Ingram, Cam Newton, RG3, and former line Ndamukong Suh are all on the ballot for the 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class.
Okay. Wait, say those names again?
Mark Ingram, Cam Newton, RG3, and Ndamukong Suh.
Who is the best player there in college?
Ooh, that's really good. Probably Cam Newton.
Yeah. The Cam
Mark
Newton
Ingram,
run at Auburn was
from Michigan, but
Mark Ingram's from Michigan?
Yeah, man.
Should probably know that.
Went to one of the Flint schools.
Yeah, probably should have known that. Cam Newton, though, the run that he had at Auburn was disgusting. Like, I don't think there was another NFL player on that offense, and they ended up playing in a national championship.
Which, like, RG3, though, was also pretty sick. But Ndamukong Suh, honestly, I mean, he almost won the Heisman as a defensive player. Like, could have won the Heisman. So it might be Suh.
Hey, all three of them going to the Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah, there's plenty more guys, too, but those are the main ones. We talked about it. Sawyer Gipson-Long making his debut start of 2025 tonight for the Tigers. Super excited for that against a White Sox bullpen day. So we'll see how their bullpen day serves versus the Tigers last night.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Sawyer Gipson-Long tonight, man. It's been a long time he's been out, and is he still a ranked prospect, technically? I believe he is.
That's a good question.
You read the next thing, I got you.
Technically, he could be. We'll read the next thing, and it's some bad Tigers news. It's some prospect news as well. Bryce Rayner, who we've talked about a good amount on this show, got injured last night, injuring his shoulder, diving back into first after a pickoff attempt. It looked pretty scary as well.
It was his reaction that made it so scary.
He on the ground. I mean, like, a dislocation of the shoulder, that's an extremely painful event if that is the case.
You know what it looked like? It looked like an 18-year-old dove back into the bag and hurt his shoulder, and started freaking out and rolling around on the ground, because that's exactly what happened.
Well, he's 20, but
Oh, he's
sure.
20?
Yeah.
Oh, probably should have known that too. There's 2 L's I'm taking this segment.
Man,
don't
just
give me
major
another
L's.
one. Don't give me another
any
one.
word on the Sawyer Gibson Long?
Yeah,
or-
he's the 29th ranked prospect
Okay, so
in
he's
the
fallen.
system now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has.
But obviously, injury plays into that a little bit.
But the numbers this season for him in 2025, he's played on 3 different teams, so he's just kind of been climbing. Two games played in Toledo, 2.89 ERA. Yeah, pretty good.
So we're gonna get to see him tonight. Hopefully, he has a good game because he's probably gonna get a few different starts for MSU or
what
for the Tigers. I'm looking at the next thing, and it's MSU.
All right,
let's just do that. Michigan State new athletic director Jay Batt press conference 3 p.m. today. Introductory press conference for the Spartans.
I just want to hear him talk about NIL. What's his plan? You had an excellent, elaborate plan as your COO at Alabama. Raised like $600 million there. As the Georgia Tech athletic director, got funding boosted by 43% over his tenure there. This is his thing. It's his niche. Michigan State parted ways with Alan Haller because he wasn't an NIL expert. It wasn't because he was a terrible AD, but in today's college athletics, you have to be able to fund NIL. Anyone you hire as your AD, that should be their expertise. And it sounds like this is his expertise, fundraising. I just want to hear him talk about it. What's his plan? How to get Michigan State back on the map. Michigan State should not be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, but that's the situation they found themselves in. It's a much bigger program than that. They need to get back to the top sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and I think all the questions are probably going to be centered around those topics as well, which that's why I'm super excited to see how that goes. Big news in the NBA. Tom Thibodeau fired from the Knicks after getting him to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 1999.
The NBA's... look, I love the NBA, man, but the coaching renaissance, that's like, it's a carousel. That's what it is. It's a carousel. I know the coaching carousel is a term across all sports, but in the NBA, it's literally just shuffling guys around on a year-to-year basis.
Yeah, I mean, the Coach of the Year award has just become...
Who's going to get fired?
Yeah, exactly.
Who overachieved?
The last 6 Coach of the Years or something like that have all been fired. It's crazy.
And it was Dagnall this year?
Yeah.
Monty Williams. The F out of here.
He
having a good
won't.
day,
Monty
man.
Williams. Or, I mean, Mark Dagnall probably won't, but Dagnall in 2024, Atkinson this year. But prior to that, 6 straight, all fired.
Like the following season, or they've been fired
They just
since then?
have been fired. Yeah, Mike Brown, Monty Williams, Tom Thibodeau, Nick Nurse, Mike Budenholzer, Dwayne Casey. It's just like those guys were all fired shortly after.
Monty Williams fired twice since then.
Very true.
If anyone
Dwayne
doesn't know,
Casey.
I hate that guy with a burning passion. Like, on a personal level, if I'm being completely honest, yeah.
I had no idea. Okay, just a couple more things here. The Colorado Rockies is probably the biggest news of 2025. Ben's favorite team. They won a series for the first time in 2025. Shout out
Pathetic.
to the boys in purple.
Pathetic. Baseball needs to install not a salary cap, but a salary floor. I guess those two things probably go hand in hand, but everyone complains, the Dodgers, they spend so much money. The Yankees, they spend all this money. The reason they spend all the money is because teams like the Rockies, teams like the A's, and teams like the White Sox don't spend any money. They got to put in a cap and a floor to balance everything out a little bit more. Otherwise, we're going to continue to have dumb teams like the Colorado Rockies, dumb team like the A's, no city affiliated. That's an even bigger mess. And dumb teams like the Chicago White Sox just creating an even larger gap than we've ever seen before in this sport. I would say the difference between the Dodgers and the top teams in this sport and the bottom teams in this sport it's never been a larger gap across any sport.
That's a fair point.
How do you fix that? Cap and
at least
floor.
currently in the MLB. Yeah, definitely.
The
all right,
A's.
last
Don't even
thing
get
on
me
the
started
news.
on the A's, man.
You mean, athletics? That's just it.
The homeless A's, yeah.
Right, of course. Last thing on the news, we talked a little bit earlier about Sam Darnold's been confirmed as the starter in Seattle. Let's do a couple more OTA headlines because obviously that's going around right now in the NFL. Bengals news, T. Higgins, he says he plans on staying healthy this season.
Oh!
That is a real headline.
Compared to last year when he didn't plan on on staying healthy?
Was he like, I'm going to miss like 3-4 games this year, you know?
Yeah. Imagine if like J-Mo said something along the lines this year, like, yeah, I don't plan on being suspended this year. I'm gonna play the whole game, the whole year.
Honestly, he probably should say that. That seems a little bit.
Yeah,
that seems like something he probably should say. And one more headline out of OTAs.
Yeah, for
same division in Pittsburgh. The Steelers have re-engaged in talks with the Dolphins about their tight end Jonnu Smith, who's due for an extension. Reminder: Dent head Mason Rudolph is still in line to be the quarterback of the Steelers this year, but they're worried about a average tight end.
I still think it's pretty crazy you call him Denthead. Yeah.
What happened to him?
Tough news. I got one more thing for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Ringer Top 100 just came out like a couple minutes ago. You want to guess where Kate is?
17.
16, down a spot.
Oh, wait.
Somehow
he's
Kawhi
at
Leonard
16.
passed him. I don't really know what Kawhi's done to...
Where's Halliburton? Just out of curiosity.
Take a guess.
9? Is he top 10?
He's 7.
Oh, wow. Over Brunson?
Over Brunson. Wait.
I'm out on that.
Wait. Let me double check. Halliburton is 7 with... Yeah, ahead of Brunson.
I'm out on
Who's
that.
9? Why? They just played toe-to-toe in a series, and one player was clearly better than the other.
I wouldn't say clearly better, but one player's team was clearly better.
One player's style of play translates to wins a lot more than the others.
No, that's the coach's style of play. That's why they fired him.
Huh, right. Full circle. Right. There's one more Piston on the list. You want to guess who it is and where they are?
There is?
Yeah.
Oh, they have Duren on here?
They do. They do
I figured
have
it'd be
Duren on here.
86.
97.
Okay, yeah.
One spot ahead of Jalen Green. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Top 100 Jalen Green in 2025 is crazy.
Jalen Duren down. I didn't know Jalen Duren was on the last one. Jaden Ivey got an honorable mention, though. Okay, that's going to do it for the news. We've got a ton of texts. We're about to pick one as our winner for this Tigers giveaway. You got about another 60 seconds to try to text in Tigers to 989-837-6125. And when we come back, we will have a winner selected. Again, you got to stay on your phone because we're going to contact the winner, and we need a reply from you if you really want these tickets for Sunday's game. It is the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text CLEAN CAR to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
Another episode takes over Dowd Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we have reached out to our winner for the giveaway. They have not responded yet. I'm going to give this person about 15 minutes to respond. Otherwise, we might have to pick a new winner. So if that person is you, make sure to reply to us. If it is not you, don't stop listening because you might still be able to win. No promises, though. All right, in the meantime, while we get that sorted out, I want to make sure I'm clear on my stance going into the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. Because with game number 1 tonight, a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup, I think there's a clear team that people should be rooting for. And this is just my principle for any sport, really, is I want to see players achieve their max potential. I want to see the players I'm watching climb the mountain, get to the top of the mountain, and not leave that mountain for a long time. I'd like the players I get to watch, like my generation of players, to defeat the guys that were before them. I always root for Ohtani, or I will. I've always rooted for LeBron. Well, I guess not always, and then I saw the clearer vision. I've always rooted for Mahomes. McDavid is no different. If you're just out here rooting against Canada just for the sake of it, I think that's so silly. When there's a player as special as Connor McDavid, who's potentially the best player of the last quarter century, when that guy's out there and he doesn't have his ring, why would you not be rooting for that first ring to happen for a player as special as him? This is the equivalent of when everyone, I don't even know what this is the equivalent to. Last year in the World Series, trying to get Ohtani a ring to kind of solidify him into being one of the greatest players of all time. I think he is the greatest player of all time. I don't know if you can go that far with McDavid quite yet in his career, but he is certainly knocking on the door of a pretty historic group of players when it comes to 3 Hart trophies, a Conn Smythe trophy, and a Stanley Cup. He'd be the 5th player to ever do that. He's in a very rare territory if he can win the Stanley Cup, and he's got his first chance to do that tonight. It's not his first chance, and he can't win it tonight, so I guess there's another L that I've taken so far in the show.
2 L's in one there.
So 4 L's in total on the show today. But he's got another chance to start doing it again tonight. And if you're not rooting for that, I guess I question you a little bit, unless you're a Panthers fan. That's
so
fine.
Let me get this straight. You root for Ohtani.
Of course.
You root for Mahomes.
Yep.
You root for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
You root for McDavid.
About to start rooting for Wemby, too.
You're just outing yourself as a bandwagon sports fan. That's all you're doing
I
right
knew
now.
that'd be a counter argument at some point. I don't think it's a bandwagon. I just want to see the player.
How is it not?
I want to see everyone hit their potential.
You only want the star players hit their potential, though. What about the guys with potential on the Panthers? They would hit their potential with winning a title.
Yeah, but none of those players are. Here's what I think it is. I root for greatness. Okay. I root for greatness. I want to see something incredible happen, and I feel like McDavid winning his first ring is one of those moments. Like if the Panthers went back to back here, it's like I've seen Tampa go back to back. Cool.
Back to back is greatness.
I know, but like I think the greatness of McDavid winning a ring and winning a Stanley Cup for the first time in his career
is where you're going for, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't care about like the Panthers going back to back. Like, yeah, that's greatness for that team, but it's not the team I root for. I am rooting for like a player like Connor McDavid because he's so fun to watch. I'm not a diehard hockey fan other than the Wings. I'm more of a basketball person. But when you turn on McDavid, you know pretty quickly this guy's just different than everybody else on the ice. Like, even a casual hockey fan can pick up on that pretty quick. That's why I root for him. It's like this. It's the same reason you're going to like this too. I root for Caitlin Clark. I used to kind of hate on Caitlin Clark a little bit. When she was in college, I actually was
that's the worst one.
I know. When she was in college, I was actually like kind of LSU. Kind of thought it was cool. I still like Angel Reese a lot. But I was like a big Paige Beckers person in college. And now that Clark's in the league, she's just so fun to watch, man. She's so much better than everybody in the league, other than like the Asia Wilsons of the world. But like, she's going to develop into that. So it's like, why would I not root for that? Like, that's the most entertaining team. Their viewership has dropped by 50% since she's gotten hurt. This is the team that everyone's just kind of jumped on board with, because not every city has a WNBA team. Obviously, that's different when it comes to hockey, because a lot more markets have a hockey team. But the team I root for is not in the Stanley Cup. Why would I not just root for the player that's more entertaining to watch?
That's fair.
I guess like
the player greatness thing it's a valid point.
I've just never understood why people are so quick to like hate on that player. I've seen a lot of Mahomes hate. I've seen a lot more LeBron hate than probably any athlete ever.
People always want something new. And Mahomes going to the Super Bowl every year, people are sick of that.
If you're the Bills, I get it. If you're the Bills fans, I get it. If you're a Ravens fan, I get it.
Of course.
But like, I don't know. I feel like people are just making up reasons to be mad instead of just appreciating how special of a player you're really seeing. You know?
Yes.
Do you have a team that you're rooting for tonight, or is it just you don't really care?
No, I mean, it sounds like I'm making the counter argument to root for the Panthers. I'm not. I honestly don't really care who wins, and I usually take that stance when it's a non-team I root for finals. Now, there is the players I really root for, but like Thunder Pacers even. Like, obviously we all know the Thunder's going to win, but I'm not like rooting for the Pacers just because they're the underdog, and I'm not rooting for the Thunder because I want to see the start of a dynasty greatness. I really don't care. You know, I stay neutral when it's not my team involved.
I'm rooting for the Pacers tomorrow because I don't want to see a sweep.
That's fair.
I want the Pacers to get a few games. That has nothing to do
with like you liking a team more than the other one. Yeah.
No, I don't think the Pacers have a realistic shot of winning the finals. That's why I just like game one, please win, just to give us some hope that this isn't going to be a 5-game series. If they win the first game, I think it's possible that it goes 6 and stuff. But I still think even if it goes 6, it's like, yeah, but like, did the Pacers ever really have a shot to win? Did the Thunder just take their foot off the gas?
They never have had a chance to win.
Are you willing to go that far? There's just zero chance? I guess we'll touch more on it tomorrow. But
0% chance. And they could win game 1. Like, I don't think, I think they could win a game, but 0% chance the Pacers win the finals.
Do you think anybody in the East could have beaten this team?
Definitely not the Knicks.
I think a healthy Celtics team could have, but I don't know if Porzingis was ever really healthy.
Exactly. Does Porzingis count? Are we counting? Or you just mean with Tatum?
With Tatum,
they have like a better chance, but I don't think they win. No,
I don't.
But they definitely have a chance. They're not 0.
I think they needed Porzingis. I think that became pretty clear.
I mean, with Chet and Ihart for the Thunder, it's just
it's too big.
It's too big.
Too many guys. Okay, we have our winner. We've got a reply. It is Mark from Reese. Congratulations, you are going to the Tigers game on Sunday. Jack Flaherty on the mound, taking on the Cubs. 2 of the best teams in baseball going toe-to-toe. Should be a fun weekend at Comerica Park.
Winner, chicken dinner.
There's Giannis. That's right. Yeah, I haven't been down to a Tigers game yet this year. Usually I like to go early on in the year before the summer heat rolls around. But this weekend's kind of a perfect weekend to go because I don't think it's going to be like blistering hot, but it's certainly not going to be cold. Maybe June baseball is the best baseball.
Sometimes it can get too hot, though. Like, the cold baseball obviously sucks, but when it's too hot and you're just sitting out in the sun.
I know. I went to a Tigers game a couple of years back, and we went to Tin Roof before, and we were like, let's go sit on the roof. And by the time we left Tin Roof, we were so drained because we were so hot, sweating our butts off up there.
Right.
And then we went and sat in the sun, and I don't think any of us brought sunscreen. We weren't in the shade. Half of us fell asleep in the crowd. And it's not like, I hate saying that because it's like, I'm not one of the guys that thinks baseball is boring by any stretch. But dude, the sun just takes it out of you sometimes.
I hate baseball.
Stop. Oh my God. I forgot that was clipped.
Yeah.
What context was that taken out of?
It's really out of context because you were talking about I hate baseball at Coors Field. And I just cut the at Coors Field part.
I do hate baseball at Coors Field. Congratulations.
I also haven't been to a Tigers game, though.
You want to go to one sometime in the next couple weeks? We probably should,
actually.
Do you want to golf tomorrow after the show?
This live?
Yeah.
I'm in, yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
We have to start this. It's a weekly thing. We'll make a scoreboard for it.
And then we'll share it with everyone. And we're going to share our scores and be like, these guys suck at golf.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way right now. We suck at golf, so that's what's going to make this fun.
We're not like these business owners and CEOs that go out and hit rounds all the time, take their clients out. I would love to start doing that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someday, but...
if you are looking, if you are a CEO, looking to play some golf, or looking to hire some clients, let Spherion do the heavy lifting and get you some great candidates without the hassle. Their simple online platform makes finding the right employees quicker and easier than ever. Post jobs, review applicants, and connect with top-end talent all from your phone or computer. It's that easy. Whether you're staffing short-term projects or building your dream team, Spherion's got your back. Get back to running your business while Spherion handles the hiring headache. Hiring made simple, smart, and online. That is Spherion. You got it, Kyle. Me and you golf tomorrow. Sound like a plan? Weather dependent.
Of course, yeah.
Weather dependent.
No, we're playing through it no matter what.
I have played through it before. It's tough.
Oh yeah, it's not that bad, honestly. If you wear the right
you got to be dressed
attire for it. Yeah.
All right, we'll close the show out the same way we always close the show out. When we come back here, it's the Ben Bosscher Show. Stay tuned. Epic ending coming up.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Earlier this week, Michigan State officially hired their next athletic director, Jay Batt from Georgia Tech, also formerly worked in the athletic department at Alabama. And with that hiring, Michigan State has officially started the clock on the hot seat for Jonathan Smith. Now, whether that's his own fault or not, there's a new athletic director there, and he's brought in specifically for NIL purposes, sponsorship purposes, and to get the football program back to where it should be, which is not a bottom-tier Big Ten program. Now, Jonathan Smith hasn't really done anything wrong since coming to Michigan State. He brought in a lot of his guys from an Oregon State program that was successful under him. But in year one, obviously, a decent season. They didn't make a bowl game or anything. But now in year two, there's all of a sudden major expectations for Michigan State to get back into relevancy. And if they don't, why would J-Back keep around Alan Haller's old hire? He wants to bring in one of his own guys to get Michigan State football program in the right direction. Now, what are those expectations for Jonathan Smith Spartans this season? Well, for sure, you got to make a bowl game, but what is the win total at? This is a tough schedule for MSU this year, like it always is in the Big Ten. And Jonathan Smith now in year two finds himself in a very different situation than Spartan fans might have expected a year ago when he was brought in. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
Sneakers laced and smiles ready. That's the vibe at the Greater Midland Dow Run Walk on June 7th.
Whether you're racing like a gazelle or strolling like it's a Sunday walk, this event brings fresh air, good vibes, and plenty of high fives.
Bring your friends, bring your family, and don't forget your best dance moves for the finish line party.
Sign up today at greatermidland.org. Run, walk, or show up just for the snacks. Just make sure you're there this Saturday.
Experience world-class golf and family fun at the Dow Championship. Returning to Midland Country Club June 23rd to the 29th. Come and see top LPGA professionals compete in the only team-based event on the tour. Explore interactive fan experiences, family-friendly activities, and delicious local food vendors. Plus, veterans and children under 17 get in free. Don't miss out. Visit DowChampionship.com today for more information.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Lounge returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, it's been a fun show. We talked to Anthony Pittman of the Detroit Lions. We gave away some Tigers tickets to Mark from Reese, so have fun at the Tigers game on Sunday. We've got Fergie Fresh in the chat saying, shout out Fergie Fresh, break 50 challenge. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's like when you play. Well, you have to try to get a score of a 50.
Oh,
but it's a
in
big,
golf.
like it's a Bryson DeChambeau thing.
Impossible.
He plays 18 from the front tees with a celebrity, and they try to break 50.
Nope.
We couldn't break 50.
Nope. I don't know if I'd break 50 and 9
before.
Yeah.
I never have.
Yeah.
So.
I think last weekend when I went, I shot 66 on 9. I'm bad.
Yeah.
I'm really
me
bad.
too.
I didn't play like growing up, so like to just kind of pick it up when you're 22 years old without really ever swinging a golf club seriously.
Right.
There's going to be a huge learning curve. Like that's one thing I wish I would have played.
That's our goal this summer, dude.
Yeah, to get a lot better.
Track our progress.
That's one thing I wish I would have played a lot more of when I was growing up.
Oh, for sure.
Like looking back, should I have played golf instead of football? Probably.
I mean, I
don't regret playing football.
Better for you long term.
Yeah, if anything, it would have been baseball, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, we end every show the same. First up, it is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, we're off to a good start for the Ben Bosscher Show. We're 2 for 2. And not only are we 2 for 2, but plus odds on both of them. First day, Tigers money line in the first inning was plus 240. Thank you, Kerry Carpenter. Second day, what was it at? Plus 115 yesterday for Paul Skeen's strikeouts?
Plus 112.
Plus 112 Paul Skeen's strikeouts. So we're up 4 units now on the week.
3.52. Yes.
3.52 units. So we could lose the next 3 days and still be positive. We're already positive on the week. Now it's just what can we do to add on to that. My goal at some point is to have a perfect week, and I want to make a huge deal of that when we do have a perfect week. Could the very first
Have
week...
the chance to.
Could the very first week be a perfect week? Now, I say that, and we definitely just butchered our chances for this to continue happening, and maybe going forward we do unspoken, don't mention it until Friday.
He is. Like,
yeah,
I'm kind of want you to fail.
That means the people out there are failing.
No one is. No, the people out there are succeeding. Everyone is is fading your picks here.
I got a text on Monday night that said thank you for the Tigers' first inning money line. And I felt awesome.
That's cool.
It felt great. Today, I'm going to keep it simple. Plus 145, Connor McDavid to score a goal. He is 6 so far in the playoffs. When the Panthers and Oilers played in the regular season, there was 18 combined goals in 2 games. Lot of goals scored. The reason I didn't go with Leon Draisaitl to score tonight is because last Stanley Cup, 7-game series, he didn't score once. Not once. So I'm going to go with McDavid. We've been talking about him all day. He's one of the best hockey players of all time. I think he's the best athlete going right now without a ring. I think the Oilers come into this one a little bit more with a little bit more intensity, right? It's not a feel-good story anymore. It's we want some revenge from what happened last year. Star players show up in big moments. Tonight is the first enormous moment for McDavid. I guess it's not the first enormous moment, but it's a big moment for McDavid. I think he comes through and scores a goal tonight, plus 145. What do you think?
I think you've been talking a lot about Connor McDavid on the show. That's what I think.
Best player in the league.
Yeah. I don't mind it, though. I mean, I said yesterday's was going to hit. I said the first day's wasn't going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1 seems like when the Star doesn't score. So I say no, this doesn't hit. It seems like a Game 2 goal scorer.
All right. Well, if he doesn't score today, I think Game 2 is Game 2 Saturday, so we won't have a lock. I think it is.
Right.
Oh, well. But if he doesn't score the first 2 games, next week, guarantee you, we're doing Connor McDavid for a goal. All right. That is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
The other way we like to end the show is Kyle and I keeping score of who can predict Colin's Open. Because when we get off the airwaves up here in the Great Lakes Bay region, Colin Cowherd takes over at noon. He's actually off this week, so the irony behind ending the show.
Opening week.
Yeah, opening week of the Ben Bosscher Show, ending the show every day, predicting what Colin's going to say, and him not being there, somewhat ironic. But we're guessing what his co-host, J-Mac, is opening with. Neither of us have scored a point yet.
Yeah, you can see a couple donuts on the scoreboard here if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook.
But you, in what you predicted for Monday, they actually opened with yesterday, but you don't get any points for that.
Yes, I predicted it to be the whole, not just NBA Finals preview, but it was how NBA Finals ratings blots to middle market teams, and that's exactly what happened. He was like, I want to see the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't the Knicks in the finals?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Where's LeBron? You know, that was what the Open was.
Yes.
And that was just a day off.
You want to go first today? I went first yesterday.
Yeah, I do want to go first today because the reason why I lost the first day was because J-Mac opened with the Knicks instead of the middle market teams, just talking about what the Knicks got to do. And we got some big Knicks news last night. Now, here's the sketchy part. It broke during Colin's show yesterday at the back half.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be old news to lead with, but Tom Thibodeau being fired is what the Open is today. That's my prediction.
I feel like you're going to get a point. Yeah. They definitely hit it
yesterday.
What did I guess
Dion
yesterday?
Stuff.
Oh, yeah, Dion stuff. I bet they hit that at some point. Today, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. Something about Aaron Rodgers. But I still feel like the Knicks thing is relevant enough to where I would rather have your prediction than my prediction.
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt yesterday.
It's still like the number one thing trending sports world on the old X app these days. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I haven't heard them talk about Aaron Rodgers. Maybe if Colin was leading, I'd have more confidence.
Yeah,
because he loves talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Let's think. J-Mac pivots to Brock Purdy like 2 minutes into the show after talking about the Knicks. So it's like
Colin also loves talking about Brock Purdy.
Anything is on the board, though. You know, like you really have no idea.
I'm going to go with what are the Steelers doing? Why is Aaron Rodgers not on the team of some sort? And that is my prediction for how Colin opens this show. This is a tough game, man. Like, do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think it'll be? Like 1 point a week for the both of us? That's difficult.
I mean, 1 point a week, I feel like it could be a stretch. It might take us a while to score.
I feel like you've got a good chance of getting it today with Tibbs.
It's just hard in the summertime, right? It's going to be much easier football season
Cowboys.
when sports are being played.
Yeah, Cowboys.
You're not
Niners.
leading with MLB ever, you know? Maybe some days.
I guessed he was going to on Monday, and I was
Right,
totally
true.
wrong. Because that was like the only chance you had. Yankees-Dodgers played each other.
Yeah.
And if they're not leading with that, I doubt they ever lead with that. So, all right. That is day number 3 of the Ben Bosscher Show. Can't believe it's already been 3 days. So we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll be back every single weekday at 9 a.m. To start going towards the second half of the week. It's been an incredible first week. I think you guys, anyone who's listening right now, knows how grateful I am for this. So thank you guys for tuning in. That was the Ben Bosscher Show. And again, we'll be back tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in. I guess that's it. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on